Oh, Main's upside down. There we go. It's actually quite warm in here. I don't know how to live stream anymore. Hey, Imogen, it's just you and me. How are you? Oh, no, there's a couple of other people. Oh, this ain't a good look, fam. That's all right. That's all right. It's a late night thing. It's fine. Oh, how are you? How are you? I am just so over myself right now. Hi, everyone. If you can hear me and everything, let me know. If you can see me, that'd be great. I think it should be fine. Can you guys hear me? I hope so. I have no idea what this live chat's going to be, all right? I just literally was like on hour 4 of YouTube rabbit hole shit. And after I finished the Tana Mojo no filter, whatever the fuck that was, getting married to Jake Paul, I was like, what am I doing with my life? And I didn't know how else to stop it other than like have something to go and do. And I haven't done a live chat in a little while, so I thought I'd come and say hi. That's a good a reason as any, isn't it? You can hear me. Oh, fabulous. Hello, Shuffle Tarot. Hi, Zach. Well, you were also watching Tana Mojo? I also watched that. It's awful, but also, I don't know. I don't know how I got onto it, to be honest. I don't really watch Tana, other than when you see her in other people's videos, really. She seems kind of weird and fun, but I don't know how I got onto that. Abundance Tarot NL. That's a fun name. What's the NL stand for? Hello. Now, I don't know where this is going to go. If anybody has anything they want to talk about, any questions, that'd be great. Otherwise, I might paint my nails. Oh, Netherlands. Okay, very cool. Oh, yes. I read that as Neverland at first. I'm very sorry. But yes. Yeah, because I haven't painted my nails in a few days. So that's an option. Love an iconic nail painting session. Yeah, that's right. That was like your favorite video ever, wasn't it? And I privated it for like 3 weeks. I ended up putting it back up, but by then I think everybody forgot about it, which is fine. Yeah, I didn't even get all my nail polishes out. Oh, and I've got like some intense colors here. Oh, that's a bit risky. Let me see if I can find my other ones. Ooh. Nearly tripped over my slippers, but it's fine. This is my little box I keep my nail polishes in. There's not a lot of them, but hi, Viola. See, this is my favorite, but we did it last time, and I feel like that's cheating. I think my other nail polish is out in the other room, but that's all right. I have like this baby pink, which kind of almost just makes your nail polish, like your nails look a bit, I don't know, like you can still see, you know, the white, just kind of like a tint almost. I don't know. Does that make sense? This is a fun one. It's kind of quite summery. This lighting in here is terrible, isn't it? Hello, Lady Knight of Avalon. I did your tag, didn't I? Oh, that was fun. Oh, this one doesn't have a little thing in it anymore. I don't know what I did with this. Is like a shiny one because we all know I'm great at colors. This one I wear a lot. It's like pink. And then I have a red. I get scared of reds though because it's like, it just is so obvious when they chip. Oh, It's like a red. And then there's kind of like this dark purple color, which feels quite wintry. Am I not really winter anymore? And then I have this one. I don't remember how I came across this one, but it's kind of cool. It's like, I don't know. Anyway, that's all I got. So I don't really know if we're going to. You've inspired me to do mine too. My black is chipped to nothing. Yeah. I saw it and I loved it. Thanks. Oh, that's good. I'm glad. Yeah, no, it was a really fun video. I'm really glad on the cusp how I did it, because I thought it was really fun. Hi, Katey. How are you? I'm glad to catch you alive. Hi. I'm good. I'm feeling a little bit buzzed, a little bit too much. Not too much, but a little bit. So I can't really kind of sit still for too long. But if I focus on something, that's a good idea. Do you ever do the water marble techniques? No. That sounds advanced. I'm not that fancy. Keep shaking the bottle till it rattles. It will. Which one did I say didn't have a thing? Was it this one? Because I can hear it if I do it like sometimes. I don't know. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, painting our nails is an option. Should we just do that? And then if you guys have questions or anything, this is not like a, hi, Cindy. Like I haven't come on here to unbox a deck or to talk about a specific thing. I've come on here to hang out. So help me out. Ask me questions. Say things. Should we paint nails? Is that what we should do? Which one do you guys reckon? I know this is great, but we did this last time. And I do it all the time. It's my most used. What do you reckon about the pink? I haven't used this one in a little bit. It's not that hard. It just takes a bit of practice. But you can mix different colors together. Lots of YouTube tutorials on that. I do love a good YouTube tutorial. That sounds fun. But also stressful. No, it sounds very cool. Maybe I'll look into it one day. We'll see. But what do you guys think of the pink? It's called Twilight, which I've never understood the shade names, but that's all right. I often get questions. When I wear these two nail polishes, I always get questions. This is by Natio. Most of my nail polishes are by Natio. It's an Australian brand, I think. Yeah. Made here in Heidelberg, West Victoria, which is just outside of Melbourne. Go pink. It's perfect for spring. Do the red just because it scares you a bit. Oh, the pink is super pretty. Okay, everybody vote, red or pink. I think the pink's winning so far. Although if I wear red and I'm in this jumper, I'll look pretty Christmassy. Is it a pearl? It is. It's kind of got like a shimmer. I don't know certain words, but yeah, it's kind of got like a pearly, shimmery thing to it. I think pearl, like that sounds right. The pink would suit you. I wear this all the time. I have a backup for when it runs out. It's one of my favorites. Pink. Okay, well, I've already got the clear on because I did that like yesterday, just to kind of keep my nails. Pink, good. Okay, very fun. In the meantime, ask me questions. I don't know. Well, tell me what you guys have been up to. Or I don't know. I want to keep this chatty, yeah? Hello. Oh, I'm a bit shaky today. That's all right. You made it. I'm so happy. You're new on the Discord too, yeah? Is that... Sorry, I always have trouble like remembering like the crossover from Discord to YouTube, but ooh, so pretty. Yes. Oh, very good. Well, welcome. It's lovely to have you. Pink. Oh, I'm not an expert at this, guys. I just do it for fun. Plus, I just think pretty nails are fun. I don't know. I never thought I'd be like the have my nails done all the time type, but I totally am and I love it. Oops, I got some on my table. So how is everyone? How's your engagement going? Don't answer if you don't want to. Well, we had our engagement party 2 weeks ago, the 19th of October, which was really nice. I was quite stressed, I think more just because, I mean, there was a whole of like 30 people there. So it's not like I lost a lot of friends after, I think you guys all know my story, yeah? I lost a lot of friends in the dark age. So I actually don't have a lot of friends, but I have like a set group of really, really close, good friends. And Blair's kind of had the same group of friends since high school. So we're not those people that have friends and friends and friends and friends. We just have our people. And then I also have this new job that I've been working, and I kind of really feel like I really like those people too. So I invited them. And then it was just some of my like family, just like my mum's sister's family came down. But there was a few people who like came to Melbourne just for it. And so just kind of like having all these people here and trying to see everybody, that was quite stressful, but I was so happy to have everybody there. But it just got a bit overwhelming, like trying to run around and make sure I saw everyone and making sure they felt like important to me, because it's like they've come all this way. I didn't want them to feel like I didn't care about that. Obviously I did. And then I spent the first half of the night worrying no one was having fun, because I put the playlist together and I was worried it was shit and that, I don't know, just worrying, you know. So I literally, to calm myself down, I danced by myself for about 15 minutes. I was just like, people always ask me how I can dance without drinking. And I'm like, it took me a good 3 years and now I fucking love it. I don't care. But yeah, I danced for about 15 minutes by myself just to calm myself down. And then, I don't know, I just kind of settled into it. And we had a really, really nice night. We just kind of went to a bar and we hired out the upstairs area of a bar that's local to us and that we really like. Mum and Dad bought pizzas for everybody. Dad did a little speech and he made Blair cry because he did the, you know, just the corny old, you know, if I had to have a second son, I'm so glad it's you. I've only ever seen Blair cry once before, and that was him telling me about, you know, some really traumatic family shit. And my dad made him cry. It was so cute. So that was quite sweet. And then I did a little speech. I told Blair I was saving, you know, I had to write vows, so I'm saving my best content for that. But he said yes. But there was 4 other people I had a question for. And so I pulled out my phone because I had to take notes. And so I had a little like set of notes of things that I wanted to say about my 4 best friends. So I could ask them to be my bridesmaids. So that made me cry. And everybody cry. Well, I mean, those people cry. Also, I made a Harry Potter joke in there. So obviously that was a win. So yeah, it was just a really, really good night. Yeah, and then as far as like plans go, we don't have a lot organized. We have like a vague, a date penciled in, very much penciled in. And we have a venue that we've spoken to. Again, it's literally a bar in Footscray, like that we just want to go to And we're actually going to see if we can get married there as well as, you know, so it's not like we have to organize a ceremony and then a reception. Like, I just kind of want to do it all in one. Like, can we just go to a bar, get married, and then dance and, I don't know, hang out? Like, that's so that's as far as we've gotten. I really did want a videographer because I'm such a fucking millennial and I don't really look at pictures. And I just thought having like a little, basically a vlog, right, of our wedding day would just be the greatest thing ever. But videographers are fucking expensive. And I found one that was like, seemed almost reasonable, but was still ridiculously priced. And I watched some of their samples and I'm like, fam, this isn't that much better than my vlogs. You know what I mean? So I don't think we're going to do the videographer thing. I think that was a bit of a pipe dream. But that's as far as we've gotten. A bar in Footscray with the whole 30 or so, although it might be, Blair's family might make it 35 people. Yeah, so that's that. Thank you. Enjoying Discord. Never knew about it before. It is pretty new. We only set it up a few months ago, so I'm glad you're enjoying it. I am too. I need to try and get on there a little bit more. I kind of like will post on there a bunch for a few days and then don't go on there for a few days. But I also feel like that's good because then everybody else can, like, I don't want it to control it too much or to have too much influence there. I want it to be more of a community rather than like a group thing, rather than like people just asking me questions and me, I don't know. Anyway, point is, I'm glad you're enjoying it. I think it's fab. Has anyone seen or heard of a very old child's deck of cards called the fortune telling cards? No, I haven't. I'm not a girly girl at all and have spent the last 20 years in hospitality, and painted nails was a no-go for me. But the first day of my holidays, I always get painted nails. Ooh, well, we have our first coat on. Oh, it's kind of the color of my scarf, but like shiny. I love that scarf. A friend picked it out for me. Lovely small group of people, good friends. Sounds lovely. It was really nice. How much does color affect the symbolism of tarot? Because I'm colorblind, and I consistently hear things about the colors of decks and how they affect people and what they make people feel. Well, I know in the, especially like Golden Dawn tradition, so that's like Rider-Waite and Crowley and stuff, color for them meant a lot, and they very purposefully chose colors. But for me, I think I don't really have like, okay, yellow means this and pink means this. I more just kind of get an overall sense of what the image makes me feel. And for me, as someone who's like loves color plays into that. But I think it's more just the overall sense of the card and the feeling of the card. For me, it's more about like movement, and if there's a sense of flow and kind of where the characters are set in the frame or in the scene. So I don't know, like I think it can matter as much as you want it to matter. For some systems, there has been a lot of emphasis placed on it, but I mean, I read the Rider-Waite Smith and I don't know anything really about what Waite said about color. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I hope that makes sense. I certainly don't think you need to worry about getting it right or anything like that. Sounds like such a great night. It was. Good question, Zach. I never really thought of that, since we usually talk about whether we like the colors or not. Yeah, I'm definitely much more that, whether I like the colors, whether the image in its entirety makes me feel a certain way or not. Good morning, butterfly, or good evening for me. It's nearly 10 o'clock, but good morning to you. A lot of people don't read colors when reading tarot. Colors have vastly different meanings across cultures, so their meanings are far from absolute. Yes, I like this. There's a lot of things in like the kind of metaphysical world where things in general, whether it's the moon or fucking animals or colors, they're like assigned values or correspondences, like all of that stuff. We talk about, a lot of people talk about that as if it's almost like inherent. You know, like the moon is feminine and it is this and it is that. And it's like, well, maybe it is to some people and maybe it is to some groups and cultures, but it isn't to all. The moon is not inherently anything. We put ideas and that sort of stuff onto it, and that is meaningful. But kind of like with color, I think it's the same thing. Whatever meaning we ascribe to it is powerful and awesome, but it's not inherent to it. So yeah, I don't think that needs to be a core. I forgot my fucking water. No, I didn't. I don't think that needs to be a core to your experience of tarot, if that makes sense. It can be, but it doesn't have to be. Try to get a film student, maybe, might be cheaper and gives them a fun project. Yeah, I thought about that. I do want to be careful though of that whole getting people to do free or cheap work. Do you know, oh, it'll be good for you. It's good exposure. It'll build your portfolio. It's like, if a job's worth doing, it's worth being paid for. So I personally need to find that balance, but we'll have a look. We are not spending a lot of money on this wedding because it's just not a priority for either of us. Like I know some people get really nasty about people spending big bucks on weddings. I'm like, I see the value in it, especially for, you know, people who put a lot of weight on family and tradition or whatever. Like for some people, that stuff's really important. It's just not for us. So I'm barely even sure whether I want like a proper photographer. I've been convinced that just for a couple of hours, it would be good to have like really good photos of us and everything, but I don't want someone like taking a photo of me getting into my dress and like little curated pictures of like my shoes. Like, what the fuck is that? Like, that's just not me. I don't want that. So we're not going to have like fancy photographer like that. I think we'll still get a photographer, but not, yeah, anyway. Good question, Zach. I never really thought of that. I just read that, didn't I? Where was I? Hiya, Katie. Sounds like a dream wedding. Hope it turns out how you want it to. Yeah, me too. I'm also, though, trying not to overthink anything or like, yeah. And that's part of why I want it small, because I feel like I could be the sort of person to overthink everything and get really stressed and worry about every detail. But also we know that big life events, and weddings is a big one, are massive triggers for bipolar episodes. Like, that's just a fact. So I am very aware of that. So I just want to keep it as, I still want it to be special and fun, but I also just want it to be as chill and low key as possible. So that's why we're doing it in the bar. So I can't really get too in my head about it, hopefully. That all in one idea at a bar sounds fun and easier. Yeah. And the bar's really cute. Like, they have this really cute area, so I won't have to worry about decorations. And they do in-house food, so I won't have to worry about like catering or anything like that. I don't know. I like the idea of it. I think it'll be kind of just like all in one place, nice and simple. I mean, obviously I know there's more that goes into it, but yeah. Have a nice day, everyone. Bye. Thank you for popping in. Hi, Katie. Just wondering if you'd heard of the Mystical Dream Tarot. Yeah, that's a new one, isn't it? I remember kind of putting it into order at the shop. It looks lovely. It doesn't really seem like my sort of deck. It seems quite busy. I think I'd struggle to kind of make out what's going on in the details and stuff. Looks pretty, though. Folks, please like, oh, butterfly. Oh, thanks. I mean, it's working, so. Color. Some decks are black and white. It would be interesting to hear a perspective on a card reading from someone who is colorblind. There must be a lot to hear from that perspective. Yeah. Hi from Brisbane. Hi from Sydney. Hi guys. East Coast. How are we all? Wait, that's not, yeah, no, east. I would go so far to say you don't need to know any of the Golden Dawn teachings, including color associations, and still be 100%. I totally agree. I was more just using that as reference because I know that they're really big on the symbolism of every detail. But I don't know. I don't know much of that stuff. I love tarot. I don't think you have to worry about. I think you can go into any system as much as you want to. And for some people, that means just chilling and like going entirely intuitive or almost entirely intuitive or whatever. Like, it doesn't matter. You can do it however you want. Because the Golden Dawn don't have ownership of the tarot. Like, yeah, they were a big part of modern tarot, possibly like one of the, they were massive in terms of modern tarot, yeah? Like, there's no denying that. But they don't have, they don't dictate how we use tarot. They don't have an ownership of tarot. Tarot doesn't belong to them. It doesn't have to be confined to just their rules and their system. And so we don't have to either. Ain't it great? What is one thing regarding tarot you have not studied yet but want to? Maybe a specific system or combining with things like astrology, psychology, health, past lives, or something like that. Well, psychology, I think I've done quite a bit. Like, I've got my therapeutic tarot series, which seems to have died off a little since I've decided to have a bit more fun on YouTube rather than do serious stuff. But so that has always been a big part of tarot for me. But have you guys seen my favorites video yet? How I like went on and on about how amazing my astrology reading with Sammy was. So I kind of want to learn astrology, and I do feel like I want to. I think if and when I kind of head down that path, I think because there are already so many kind of crossovers, I think naturally I probably will start to kind of think about how astrology impacts my understanding of tarot and vice versa. So I feel like that might start to play a role, but we'll see. Overnight, our clocks went back daylight saving time in Ontario, Canada. So it's 5:54 a.m. Ah, very early. Our daylight savings started a couple of weeks ago, and it's so good. Although I think that's probably why I'm feeling a little bit more peppy. Hello, Sacred Keep. My wedding sent me into a big hypomanic episode, excitement overload. It was a great day, though. Your plans sound perfect. Yeah. I've seen you and your husband are just gorgeous together. And I feel like I remember seeing a wedding photo of you guys, and it was just like, you looked gorgeous. I mean, you always do, but yeah, that's a very common thing, especially I think for women, because so often in het relationships, the planning often falls to women. And it's a lot of fucking shit to do. That's what I said to Blair. I'm like, I need you to help me with this stuff. He's like, I don't really care. Like, you do it how you want. I'm like, nah, fam. The thing is that there's a list of shit to do and it needs to get done. And just because you don't mind, that means I have to do it all. And I'm not down for that. So I've been delegating, which is good. But yeah, there's like just a lot to do. And also the excitement. Well, hopefully, I hope most people are happy and excited. But yeah, big emotions. Hi, Claire. It's so weird that different countries change the daylight savings time on different dates. Why don't we all do it on the same day around the world? Well, I'm pretty sure ours sometimes changes for the football, doesn't it? Or was that a car race? Something. I remember someone telling me something about the fact that ours was pushed back a week or something because of a sporting event, basically. Maybe that's not true, but I don't know. I think it kind of also, like, it has to be at a time that's like convenient for the society. But yeah, it is a bit weird, isn't it? My wedding was small. I only had 30 people, didn't want a big wedding, but it was a great night. Married 20 years now. Oh, that's lovely, Sophie. Yeah, I think ours will be about the same, depending what we decide to do. But the place we're doing it at anyway is between 30 and 50 people. And I don't think we know 50 people. So I kind of think it'll be about 30, 35. Which I remember, like, our engagement party was about that. And one of my friends kind of came up to me afterwards and said, this was such a fun night. And she said too, she's like, I just think it's a perfect amount of people. Like, there's enough people that you don't feel like you all have to sit and be in the same conversation, or that, you there's enough people that you can kind of float around and talk to different people, but there's also enough people, like there's not so many people that you don't kind of get a sense of who everyone is. And yeah, like it just felt like a good amount of people. So it worked for the engagement. I figure it'll work for the wedding, hopefully. Golden Dawn, I'm still getting used to that idea. Need to do more research. Doesn't really appeal to me, to be honest. I think there's a lot of, I'm very, I don't want to sound like I'm hating on things. I'm just not a big fan of things that feel kind of, I don't know. I think in a kind of occult circles, there can kind of be this kind of superiority complex sometimes associated with some things. And I'm just a little bit like, I mean, you guys think you're great. Are you really that great? I'm sure they're great, but I don't know. It just doesn't particularly appeal to me, like that kind of in-depth study of elitist. Yes, that's the word I was thinking of. Have you considered getting the Radiant Sun Oracle? Well, I have filmed a video. I filmed it. I filmed it directly after doing my cull number 2 video. I sat down and spoke about my wish list. And I was like, I am very aware of how ridiculous this seems right now, but, you know. And at the end, I kind of said that I don't have a particular deck in mind, but I would like to get something astrology related, and I have no idea what, because I kind of want to get something that's would help me learn. I don't know, something that can help me learn a little bit, but that I can also use. Like it's not like a study tool, you know, like flashcards. I don't know. So I've got to look into that more. I've looked at some of the ones we have at work. There's a couple of like rock pool ones, and then I think a Blue Angel one, and they just didn't appeal to me. I think their artwork's a bit ugly. So yeah, maybe the Radiant Sun. I remember Sammy talking about that one. She said it's quite complex though. We all know I love to get intimidated by complex things. But yeah, have you got that one? Tell me all about it. I wish we could just do away with the daylight savings time altogether. Really, I love it. I love it, especially down here in Melbourne. Melbourne feels like a different city in summer, and in part, I think that's because of daylight saving, because it's sunny until like 9, or it's light until like 9 o'clock at night, and it just feels like you have a second part of the day. You know, like people go out after work so much more, and like there's little festivals and things going on. I don't know, I just love it. But a lot of people hate it. Oh, Imogen, I first read your post without reading your name. I really enjoy your channel. Yes, we love Imogen. We stan. She's still over on Instagram too, which is great. Have you got everything ready for the wedding? No, we're thinking late next year. So we know where we want to do it, and we've spoken to them, and they're cool with it. And we know when we want to do it, or we have like penciled in. And I know who my 4 bridesmaids are. Like we're not doing it traditional, so I don't actually know what the fuck they're going to do. Like I'm not walking down the aisle, so they're not going to walk behind me. I just want them to come get ready with me and hang out and organize a bachelorette party for me or something. And by bachelorette party, I mean like go for a bushwalk or like a music fest. I don't know. It's just something fun. Just wanted to kind of, I don't know. I kind of felt like it was my number 1 person had said yes, and I wanted my 4 other people to also, I don't know, it just felt like it was important for me to recognize them, because all of them have been with me through everything. And I actually said some, like my little speech that I said was really fucking cute. So yeah, it just felt important in that way. I don't know how I got onto that. I'm sorry. I'm a little bit like, just a little bit. Daylight savings is all good if the cows don't care. Neither do I. I've just ordered the Radiant Sun Oracle specifically for astro studies. Have the Moon Oracle too to get both sides. I'm so glad I don't have to deal with daylight savings anymore in Queensland. Yeah, see, it doesn't make sense in Queensland though, because you don't, like, the day lengths don't change that much, especially North Queensland. Because, like, I did live in Brisbane and I've also lived in North Queensland, and yeah, like, the day lengths in terms of how much light you get doesn't change that much. Do you know what I mean? So it doesn't make as much sense, I don't think. The only thing that's a bit weird is that you're different from Queensland and New South Wales. I mean, New South Wales and Victoria and ACT. But yeah, I don't think you'd need it in Queensland, especially North Queensland would just be weird. Too close to the equator. My husband and I managed to have 100 at the reception. We knew everyone and most of the people knew each other. We were amazed. That's nice. I remember my mum wanted a small wedding, but then, like, her mum and other people just kind of, like, invited a bunch of people. So then it went from about 30 to about 100. Hi, Barack. Is that how you say it? I'm sorry, I'm not very good with pronunciations. Where are you from? Me, I'm from Australia. I live in Melbourne. Golden Dawn I don't know much about and not really interested, but want to learn it just because I don't know much about it. That's fair. And I do think there's value in learning. Like, if you love tarot and you want to kind of, like, understand the history more, or even, like, if you have an interest in Wicca or modern paganism and you want to learn more about kind of different aspects of it, that's been a big influence. I need to blow my nose, but I'm not sure my nail polish is ready for it. Is it raining? No. Why is it noisy? I just ordered, hasn't arrived yet, but I'm curious. It has keywords and images, so I hope it's readable and not a pure study deck. Yeah, I can't remember if it was in a podcast episode or a video, but Sammy Menzo, I think Skylar bought it for her. And she was saying how it's quite, she thinks you could use it to learn, but that it's quite in depth. Like, it's not just an astrology themed oracle with, like, affirmations on it that relate vaguely to the signs or something. Like, it's quite a complex system, which is cool. Hi, Emily. Now I feel like I want to get remarried. Well, hey, you can. I think the Living Wheel astrology cards are beautiful, but I don't know if it's readable as an oracle. Living Wheel astrology cards. Oh, is that an indie deck? Oh, yeah. I remember seeing this one, but this is like a while ago, and I just was like, astrology, whatever. Now I'm like, ooh, astrology. Okay, it does look quite pretty. I will have a look into that one later. Thank you. Oh, what did I do? I'm glad to hang out for a little while, but have to go now. Thanks, Viola. Have a good day or evening or whatever. Poor old Perth. It's only just moving into 7 p.m. I hear Perth's lovely. I do want to go one day. It feels so weird having not been to, like, half the country. I feel like Living World also very intimidating. Yeah, it looks interesting though. It does look very pretty. Oh, what have I done? It's like a scratchy bit. Okay, I fixed it. That was a little bit under the, anyway. Apparently they said on the news that there's a red sand dust traveling from Melbourne to Sydney. Oh, really? Hi, Katie. Hope you're doing great. Thank you. I'm doing pretty well. Yeah, life is fab. Thank you. In Canberra, we just had dust coming through and have been raining past good few hours. Wow. Yeah, we haven't really, I mean, we had a bit of dust around, and that's right. I remember my grandmother telling me a couple of days ago that it was really dusty in Bateman's Bay because New South Wales needs rain. I bet I'm super late for the party, so hi, everyone. No, we've only been here about a half hour. Hi, Darcy. It's 10:10, so it's not too late. Plus, I fell asleep on the couch. Oh, how did I do that? I haven't really been sleeping as much as I should lately. But then I ate too much for lunch and fell asleep on the couch, and my neck hurts a little bit. That would mean no washing hanging on the line, Sophie. Oh, yes, dust. I'm thinking about reading along with Samantha Menzo's book club playlist since she was reading an astrology beginner book. Yes, I bought that book. So that's what I have to do. I have to make some time, though. My focus isn't as good as it could be right now. 100% so overwashing. A good excuse not to do it, hey. Canberra, Sydney, and Melbourne, I think, have the same timing. Yes. Hi, Sacred. Claire, yes, it's 10:10. It's 6 a.m. here. Gosh, Darcy. On Sunday, yeah? It's noon here. Just arrived. Good morning from Portugal. Hello. Not sure if this is a silly question or not when it comes to learning astrology, as I've been quite keen of late. When it comes to working out certain charts, do we need a different book for references than the Northern Hemisphere? My understanding is no, because it's about like the Earth as opposed to like the moon. Like the way the moon looks in the sky, for example, is different, south and north, and our seasons are different. But I don't think, like, because the Earth is kind of in the same place regardless of where we are on it. Does that make sense? So I don't think we do, although I know Sammy was talking to me in her birth chart reading that we did, my birth chart reading, but she was talking about how she thought that really kind of the only thing that she brought up about the south, north and south, was she wasn't sure what that meant for the south and north nodes. But for the rest of it, I don't think it makes an impact. And I think there's kind of like that, I don't think it's set. I don't know. I have to look more into that about this north and south nodes. But no, I don't want to be like, no, because I don't fucking know anything. But as far as much as I understand, I don't think you need a different book for north and south. Hi everyone. Had to subscribe. Welcome. What's the book Samantha is reading? I forget what it's called. Let me just have a look. The only astrology book you'll ever need. And I'll post the link to the there you go. Hi, Cats and Strawberries. It does. I was always curious because we are under different moon phases. So we're not born under different moon phases. It looks physically different. It's still waxing or waning. It just looks the other way around. Does that make sense? I have that one. It's good. Oh, good. Sammy went through that book before. She's doing it again now. No, she's not. I just have to watch it because I didn't watch it last time because I didn't really have that much of an interest. But that I've heard is a great place to start. So I bought that book and I plan on kind of working through it with Sammy's videos. That's my plan. I really need to blow my nose. I think this is good. Astrology is fascinating. It is. And like, I've always kind of thought it was cool. I love astrology memes. Oh, sis, getting called out. Like when you see Libra memes that are like, bitch, you judgmental and like indecisive as fuck. And I'm like, oh, haha, this is so funny. Like, I love astrology memes so much. But that was kind of like the extent of my interest. But I'd always wanted to get my birth chart reading done. And then when Sammy was offering them, actually her notes just arrived in the mail the other day. She sent her notes to me, which is very cool. It was just so interesting. And it's like she told me so much stuff. And she called me out on it. Well, it didn't call me out. It's just stuff that, I don't know. I don't know what to say without like telling you all my deepest, darkest secrets. But I suppose one big thing, I'll tell you a little lesson that I learned that's been really helpful, was that a lot of things that I've put down to mental health stuff and perfectionism, and like lost opportunities because of those things. I think sometimes it is about mental health for me, and sometimes it is about perfectionism. But I think I've also kind of been self-sabotaging in a lot of ways, and not just in perfectionism ways, but also just scared of opportunity and kind of that sort of stuff. And so she kind of reframed a lot of stuff that's happened before, which was really helpful and has kind of made me start seeing my responses to things in new ways. And I'm saying yes to more things now than I was. And I don't know, it's just been really good in that way. And then what was the other thing that kind of, I don't know, there was just a lot that really, and then I suppose, there was also just some other things about kind of behaviors that I've just gotten into because of being unwell, in terms of relying on other people because I had to. Yeah. Like I couldn't work. I couldn't fucking do anything. And so I was really reliant on other people. And I'm really lucky that the people around me, Blair and my parents in particular, were just so generous and understanding and never pressured me in any way. Like even Blair, when I would start to be like, I need to go get a job because I'm a lazy piece of fucking shit and you can't pay for everything. And Blair was like, no, just take your time. It's fine. Like he was never pressuring in any way. But now I do have a job and it's 3 days a week and it's great and I earn my own money. But I think I was still in that mindset of I still need to be taken care of, or just not feeling secure enough in that way, just mentally. And so Sammy kind of called me out on that a little bit too, which was really good because then like like the next day I like spoke to Blair and we kind of worked out kind of, I don't know, reassessed our positions in terms of that stuff, which we hadn't done in a while. And it just felt really good for me to be like, hey, actually I can take care of this stuff now. And yeah, so that was just, I think Sammy was a little bit like, oh, can I don't, you know, topics around money and all of that can be a bit tricky, but I think it's really important for, I don't know, money shame and stuff is toxic as hell. So yeah, that just kind of her just asking some simple questions, just making me think in slightly different ways have already just really made some great changes. So I don't know if you'll bother watching this, Sammy, but thank you. It was really fun having my reading done. Just like it was just straight up fun. Like I just found it interesting and fun. But then also there's just some things that have really stuck with me that have made me change some things and made me make different decisions and look at things in slightly new ways that have been really helpful. So it was great. Thanks for clearing that up for me. Is that like the moons and stuff? Yeah. I got this app called Time Passages, which helps to keep track of what's happening in the sky. Time Passages. I need like apps. I just ordered the Lou Valcourt recently did a video about like an astrology diary, but it inputs your details. So like you have this physical diary that says like what's going on in the sky right now, but it also has your transits. Is that how you use that word? So like it says what's happening in the sky in relation to your birth chart, which I thought was fucking bomb. So I ordered that. It hasn't arrived yet, but I'm very excited. Time Passages. from, say, South, like Australia, looks like this. I'm a bit confused. Sorry, Claire, I'm not following that. It's scary to progress sometimes. Yeah. It's awesome that the reading was helped. Yeah, it was great. It was great. Time passages. Thank you. I'm going to download that and play with it. When I was 14, I learned the first things about astrology from Sailor Moon. Oh, yes. Every Sailor Scout is based on one of the zodiac signs with the typical aspects. Loved Sailor Moon. Oh, God. It's okay to be taken care of. Sometimes we need it. Totally, totally. And I don't, like, I mean, I could not work. Like, I tried. Like, I couldn't do it. I needed to not work. That was the only way I was going to get better. So I did need to be taken care of. But I think it's almost like I'd internalized that sense of like needing to rely on other people. And I hadn't really moved past it completely. And I suppose that's because I'm very privileged and lucky to be able to have people around me like that. And not to say I wasn't doing nothing, but just there was more that I could be doing. And it was a large part of me just kind of not thinking in that way of feeling like self-sufficient and independent and like, hey, I can do that, you know, I can do that. That's great. So it just feels really good. I remember this is years ago, like the first bill I paid with my own money again. Oh, felt so good. Just like those things, it just, I don't know. I know bills are fucking stressful and shit, but there's also that just sense of like, I don't know, independence, I suppose, when it's taken away from you is really awesome. Look into the drama triangle. It's a similar idea and I find it very helpful. I tend to fall into the victim role, which is kind of feeling helpless role. Wow, the drama triangle. Drama triangle. Okay. Actually. Kaufman drama triangle. The victim. The victim stance is poor me. The victim feels victimized, oppressed, helpless, hopeless, powerless, ashamed, and seems unable to make decisions, solve problems, take pleasure in life, or achieve insight. The victim is not being persecuted. If the victim, if not being persecuted, will seek out a persecutor and also a rescuer who will save the day, but also perpetuate the victim's negative feelings. Been there. The rescuer, which is number 2. The rescuer's line is, let me help you, a classic enabler. The rescuer feels guilty if they don't go to the rescue, yet their rescuing has negative effects if it keeps the victim dependent and gives the victim permission to fail. The rewards derived from this rescue role are that the focus is taken off the rescuer. When they focus their energy on someone else, it enables them to ignore their own anxiety and issues. This rescue role is also pivotal because their actual primary interest is really an avoidance of their own problems disguised as concern for the victim's needs. Ooh. And the persecutor, aka the villain. The persecutor insists it's all your fault. The persecutor is controlling, blaming, critical, oppressive, angry, authoritarian, rigid, and superior. Whoa. So this is for use triangles to map conflicted or drama-intense relationship transactions. Interesting. Yeah, I definitely feel like Blair almost performed a carer role for a couple of years there. And I think I definitely established at some point a victim complex in sort of like I can relate to some of those points anyway. And I mean, he doesn't have to be my carer anymore. We're fucking partners, fam. It's great. Partners in crime. And I mean, I know that relationship dynamics will change and maybe at one point I'll have to do that for him and whatever. But it's at the moment where we're at is different. It's so different to where we were. That's really interesting. Thanks, cats and strawberries. I used to watch Sailor Moon and never realized that. Oh, love Sailor Moon. Sometimes we need to give ourselves permission just to be, just to be. Yes. Yes, Tarot students, the planets resemble the connected signs. Only Mercury and Venus have 2 associations. And Mamoro is not sun but earth. It's been so long since I watched Sailor Moon. I just remember kind of having a crush on, was it Sailor Venus? No. I remember having a crush on Sailor Neptune, I think. She was the green one? Or was it Sailor Jupiter? Now I want to go back and watch Sailor Moon. Had a big crush on, I'm pretty sure maybe it was Sailor Venus. I don't remember now. But yeah. Hi, I'm Korean. Nice to meet you. Hi. Lovely to meet you. I do not speak anything other than English. I'm sorry. My first deck was the Deviant Moon. I have heard of it. I know it's a very popular deck. I don't particularly like it. Like, it just isn't my sort of thing. But it's a very popular deck. It was one of, like, I think it's one of the most popular decks. I remember on Eclectic Tarot, I think it was one of the most highly rated decks. Lady Knight of Babylon. Really, I don't know what I was paying attention to, but had no idea. There's this idea of, if you notice yourself falling into the drama triangle patterns, then you can step out of them. Yeah, and I don't think I was fully in that victim place, but I definitely had kind of like the leftovers of it I was carrying with me, I suppose. I think that, yeah, and so kind of just having Sammy ask that question made me go, oh, I hadn't seen that. I just hadn't looked at that. And so as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, fuck, actually, yeah. Not completely, but enough that I was like, I don't need to be here anymore. That's so amazing that I don't need to be here anymore. I will talk about astrology on my channel soon. I'll put the Sailor Moon references. Oh, yes, please. Honestly, put pop culture in almost anything and I'm there for it. You're welcome. Yes, you had your back door done. I don't know what that means. I will definitely check that out. Please take my name. I don't know what that means either. But I think my nail polish is good enough for me to blow my nose, and then we can do coat number 2. What do you guys reckon? Won't be a second. Okay. It barely even needs another coat though, hey? Like, it's doing pretty well. Actually, I don't think it does. Oh, we'll put one on. It's kind of just like, it could be fine without it, but it'll be like extra good. I'm a hanky user, but yes, I have like a permanent runny nose, and right now it's hay fever season, so it's even worse. And my eyes are so fucking itchy. Oh my God. But yes, I've been a hanky user since I was 16, and I used to get made so much fun of in high school. But I mean, the alternative was me doing this every 5 seconds, you know? And actually one of my best friends recently, because we're both from North Queensland, and like, I used to get hay fever in North Queensland, but nowhere near as bad. Down here, my allergies are a lot worse. And so she's been getting hay fever too. And I pulled out, we went to Sisters of Mercy on Wednesday. I don't know if any of you are weird and wonderful enough to love Sisters of Mercy, but we went to Sisters of Mercy on Wednesday, and I pulled out my hanky to blow my nose. And she looked at me, and I was like, sis, like, I've been doing this for like the 8 years we've known each other. And she's like, no, I've just realized that hankies are a great idea. I was like, yeah. She's like, because my nose is runny and it's annoying me, but I didn't bring a tissue. So I have to go to the bathroom to blow my nose. I'm like, girl, I know what I'm buying you for Christmas. It's some cute hankies. So Like, yeah, it might be a bit weird, hankies, but I mean, once you get over it, they are like actually the greatest thing. How are you? I am great, thank you. I'm a little too awake for this time of night, but I'm also really happy and great. So I'm not mad. I don't know. Does anyone have any questions or anything so we can talk about? Anything you want to talk about? Anything you want to tell me? Oh my God, it's already been an hour. I'm really sorry, but like I need to stay here for a while. Otherwise, I'm just going to go back on YouTube and watch trash. I love this nail polish. Tidying up my art journaling supplies while I listen to you chat about stuff. Oh, you're so productive, butterfly. Oh, my nose is itchy actually. Oh, right on the tip. Oh, just itchy. Do you do any meditation or mindfulness stuff? Oh, I'm sorry, it's itchy. I'm not picking it. It's just itchy on the end. Honestly, I do not do enough. But also, honestly, I've always found like the sit down meditation really kind of, I find that very hard, and not just like in the, oh, my mind wanders, because like, of course it wanders. Like that's what your mind does. Like that's just how minds work. Your mind wanders because that's what minds do. No, but I find it like emotionally difficult. And I don't know. I tend to find like active stuff really good for me. I'm not allowed to run anymore. I really like running. But apparently I overused my calves and now I have compartment syndrome, which is like a thing that athletes get. So I get to tell everybody that I have like athlete syndrome problems. So I'm not allowed to run anymore. But I always found that very, like, I don't know, that was like meditation to me, was running. Now it's walking and dancing, because it's like focused on one thing. But it's like a body thing. And dancing's another one. Like if I wanted, like, if we're talking about more like spiritual stuff, and if it's magic or whatever, like I'm about like sex magic or dancing or stuff like that. So I'm actually quite a physical person in that sense. It's like walking and dancing and yeah. So no, I don't. Sometimes I like sit down and try to do meditation, but it's not something I do regularly. Mindfulness I find helpful with more specifically mental health stuff, whether that's like anxiety or hypomanic symptoms. But that's more like specific tasks, or you know, like tactile things, or like counting, or that sort of stuff. Trying to kind of slow or focus when you want to kind of be all, whoa. Yeah. Does that kind of answer your question? Any more walkthroughs coming up? I don't know. I don't feel like I'm very good at walkthroughs. If there's any decks that I own that you know I own that you want me to kind of walk through, I'm happy to do that. I just have tried to make, and I suppose also because I'm not really getting a lot of new decks or anything like that. Like I never really did a lot of unboxings anyway, but I definitely haven't done any in a while because I'm just not really getting new decks. And I like to feel like I have something to say rather than just like, oh, it's so pretty. Like, there's nothing wrong with videos that are like that. I just personally feel like I want something to say. Can we just talk for a minute about, like, people think I'm hating on certain individuals when I say stuff. Like when I say, oh, I don't really like unboxings or like doing unboxings because I feel like I don't have anything to say. I'm not saying that nobody should do unboxings or the people who do unboxings don't have anything to say. I think unboxings are great and I think they're fun. And also, I think content can just be fun and still be valid and valuable. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't think content, especially in the tarot world, it doesn't have to be educational or informative or insightful or revolutionary in order to be valid. It could, oh, fuck off, Chris. Yeah, like I think content can just be fun and enjoyable, you know? But just for me, I sort of feel like I have to be able to say something. And I feel like I'm the sort of person who has to take a step back and think about what I think about something. Like, I'm not great in a debate. Let's put it that way. Because I don't think fast like other people. I have to kind of sit back and just think about things. And so when I'm there in like an unboxing being like, oh, I don't like notice things, or like I have to sit with something for a while. That's why I like doing reviews. But yeah, if there's a particular deck that I have that you want me to do a walkthrough of, I'm happy to. I'm not going to, I get messages of people being like, hey, can you please buy this deck and do a walkthrough of it because I'm not sure if I want it or not. And I'm over here like, well, if you want to send me the deck, I can look at it for you, but I'm not going to go and buy a deck to do a video for you. That's a thing that's been happening lately. But definitely, if I have a deck that you want me to show, I can do that. Just let me know. Have you started reading this month's book yet? No. I kind of didn't even realize it was November until today. But I'm going to start probably tomorrow. I'm really excited. I've had it for about a month already now because I bought it as soon as I realized it was going to win the vote because we had it at the shop. But this is the book we're reading this month in the book club, guys, which has already sparked a lot of conversation. Last month we didn't talk that much about the book. So I'm excited to see that this one's got people talking. So I'm going to start tomorrow. I know, I'm literally the worst host of a book club ever. No, but I'm really looking forward to it. Have you started it yet? I have dark grape colored nails now. Thanks for that. Must away. It's bedtime for me. Well, good night, Jody. I'm sure your nails look amazing. Same, I can't sit to meditate because my body's falling apart. Fair enough. Fair enough. Yes, I love dynamic yoga meditation. Oh, I loved your dancing in your last favorites video. Thank you. I loved it too. I was so proud of myself because I really didn't think I could do it. I missed 2 of the classes and I missed the hardest classes too. Like I missed the very first class, the first time we went over the chorus. So I had a lot of catching up to do and I just didn't think I could do it. And then when I saw the video, I was like, okay, like I fucked up some bits, but like I fucking did it. Like this dance choreography that I've been watching for ages, like BTS do it on stage and in videos, and they just look so good doing it. And you're like, I could never do that. And then 7 weeks later, you're like, you kind of sort of do it. Like, it feels so good. I love your walkthroughs. Aw, thank you. That's really nice. But yeah, if there's something, is there a particular deck you want to walk through of, or you just like my walkthroughs? Recently I started getting into tarot and your videos have been very helpful. Oh, thank you. I'm glad. And what a journey getting into tarot is. Hi, Celia. You are entitled to your opinion, to state your opinion. If you always want to generalize your message and apply it to another channel, just you're not a politician, just do you. We enjoy you. Thank you, Butterfly. That's very nice. Yeah. I don't hate anyone. There's very few people I hate, and hating tarot YouTubers is just a waste of time. Like, I don't know. I don't care that much to hate. Oh, that sounds mean, but I'm just not that invested to hate anyone. I'm just not. I mean, I like some people more than I like others, but that's just how we all are, yeah? I disagree with some people. I don't like how some people behave, but I'm not like secretly out to hate people or like trying to cancel anyone. Like, that's just a lot of work. I ain't got time for that. Oh, that looks good. Waking the Witch. Yeah. It's by Pam Grossman, who has a podcast, an exploration of the world's fascination with witches, from podcast host and witch Pam Grossman, who delves into why witches have intrigued us for centuries and why they're more relevant now than ever. Part cultural analysis, part memoir, Waking the Witch traces the author's own journey on the path to witchcraft and how this has helped her find self-empowerment and purpose. It celebrates witches past, present, and future, and reveals the critical role they've played and will continue to play in the world as we know it. Very exciting. That looks interesting. I need good witchy books. Yes, well, I'm hoping this one will be one. I just like your walkthroughs. Okay. Well, I'm glad. That's really nice to know. I haven't started yet. Saw the conversation on the Discord. No citations were a little turn off, but that might just be my academical reading obsession. Love to look at a long asked notes list. Yeah. There's a few people in the Discord who are really, that's a big deal for them too, which is great. There's a further reading list. So I suppose there's like a brief. She's got, the following list is by no means comprehensive, but a rather narrow cross-section of texts that were particularly informative and inspiring for writing of this book. So she's got like a page and a half of texts there, but I suppose, yeah, it's not really referencing, is it? Yeah, I suppose we'll definitely get a sense of how much, like I do get tired of when people just kind of state things as if they're fact. Like historically, witches were green. It's like, okay, that's an interesting, like, you know what I mean? Like they state things as if they're fact and you're sitting there being like, were they though? Where are you getting this from? So yeah, hopefully there won't be too much of that in the book. Hopefully there won't be any of that in the book. We'll see. Such a great chat, but need to be up bright and early tomorrow night, everyone. Bye. Thanks for hanging out. Have a good sleep. All of that. Kat, I just love watching your chats. You've got lots of interesting ideas. I enjoy your book reviews and general chit chat while sipping my coffee and eating my fat bombs. What's a fat bomb? But thank you. That's very nice. I'm glad some people are enjoying this mess of whatever this chat is. I need to drink more water. I was about to ask you guys if you're reading any good books because, I love adding books to my list, but I don't want to ask that because then I remembered I have so many books that I haven't read yet. Oh, my God. Oh, I have a problem. Which decks are you using right now the most often? Well, I have out at the moment my Liminal Tarot. Because it's so beautiful and it's passed 2 deck culls in the last few months, despite the fact I haven't used it in a long time. So I was like, okay, well, let's spend some fucking time together then. And I've tried to do a couple of daily draws and it's just like I pull the card, I know what the card means, but it just doesn't flow. I don't know. Like, I love this deck and I used it so much. And it's honestly one of the most beautiful decks I've ever seen. It's still up there with my favorite artwork ever. I'm just struggling. So yeah. Other than that, I've still been using the Saki and the Light Seers. I do want to use the Light Seers some more. And the Gaian Tarot, actually. I need to, if Imogen's still here, I know that's your favorite deck. I had that deck on my shelf for too long. I haven't used it yet. Ooh. We just had the Ace of Cups flip over. Isn't that pretty? I know the lighting in here is terrible, but it is nearly 11 o'clock at night. It's just the most beautiful artwork. It just doesn't. I said it doesn't flow, and then it pulls out the Ace of Cups. Thanks. It's just gorgeous. Look at it. I don't know. Can you guys even see these? Is it worth me holding them up at all? I love this card. Some of these images are just like, oh. I love this Ace of Pentacles. Isn't that beautiful? This is possibly my favorite Six of Coins, Discs, Pentacles. Oh, love it. And I know you can't really see it so much in this lighting, but like there's just all these lines that look like just flowing, moving throughout. It's just a lot of movement that I adore. But I'm just really struggling reading with it lately, and I don't know why. Love this. Look at this Hierophant. Just this big, big old tree, and it has like this little face in it. Queen of Swords chilling out on a stack of books. Oh, I've had a few people asking me about, I think in one video I must have like mentioned in passing that the Ten of Swords is one of my favorite cards. And a lot of people were very confused about that. And I think I've spoken about it before, but I suppose, you know, I have a lot of fucking videos at this point. Not everyone's watched all of them. Basically, the Ten of Swords came up in a reading when I had a reading done at Seven Sisters with Mum. And it was when I was deciding to go back to law school after my suicide attempt. And it's like I was just holding on to my past so strongly. It's like I did so well at law school. I was top of my class. I got an internship with a barrister in my first year. I was like volunteering at Legal Aid. Like I was doing really well. But it fucking broke me. Like, it's a big reason that I got as ill as I did. But I was still holding on to this idea of what success looked like. And when this tarot reader pulled out the Ten of Swords, and she's like, what are you holding on to? Like, what is it that you want to go back to? There's something you want to go back to that you just can't. Like, you just can't. That road is cut off to you, and you can't go back. And I just looked at her and I'm like, is it law school? And she's like, you can't do that. You just can't. And I just broke down. And there'd been other things that had kind of come up that day. And it's like, I was unwell. I was so unwell. And I had been for a long time, but I was still holding on to this idea of like, if I just get through this and I'll go back to what I was doing before. Do you know what I mean? Whereas that Ten of Swords kind of really was the nail in the coffin of like, this is fucking done. If you want to move on, you have to move. If you have to move away from that, this is the ending. And as painful as that was, like it was like I felt sick and I was so sad, but at the same time, it was like all of a sudden, like I sobbed. Like I literally had that whole body, like where you, like pathetic sobbing. But it was like once I'd finished that sobbing, it was just like it wasn't easy all of a sudden, but it was just like a weight was gone. It's like, okay, well, this is dead. I don't have to hold on to this. I don't have to worry about it. I don't have to keep comparing my new self to my old self. I just have to focus on what's here and take a few steps forward in the direction that's right, not keep trying to drag forward what was wrong. So it was horrible, but like at the same time, it was just, it was relieving. It was just fresh. It's like I could just wake up again. And it was like, I think it was the first step in the right direction I'd made in a long time. So yeah, the 10 of Swords fucking sucks. But it's also like the 8 of Swords and the 9 of Swords are just shit. Like, I mean, they have their message of like, hey, change what you're thinking about or whatever, but they just suck. Like, to me, there's not like all cards have a light and a shadow, but to me, like the 8 of Swords just sucks. It can remind us to do something different, but it just kind of sucks. And same with the 9 of Swords. But the 10 of Swords, it sucks, but it's also the end of the sucky. And so that's kind of something that's really yeah, that's why I love the 10 of Swords. Does that make sense? Anyway, that went on a big tangent, didn't I? What else were we? So yeah, that's the deck I'm using. It's not really going so well though, which is a bit frustrating and sad. Energy balls with protein, dates, yummy stuff squeezed into a ball. Oh, is that the fat bomb thing? Very cool. Trying to keep away from bars of chocolate. Oh, sis. What book would you recommend for connecting to cards in a spread and interpreting beyond the basic meanings? Honestly, I didn't find a lot of help in books at that point. For me, and I know this sounds like a cop-out and it's frustrating to hear, but for me, because you've asked me, the books were helpful for getting a grasp on the basics, for knowing what the cards mean at their basic level, at their core level. In terms of reading them in a spread and interpreting them beyond the basics, that for me was 100% about trial and error and practicing. And seeing how, starting with small spreads and pulling cards that I knew the basic meaning of, but then they were in a position that just was like, okay, how does that basic meaning apply to that? And just kind of trying to figure it out, and then coming back the next day and seeing where I got it right and where I didn't. Watching other people's readings, and like, because some people do like online, they'll have videos of their readings or whatever. That was helpful to kind of get a sense of how they do it. Yeah, I'm sorry, that's really shitty. I know there's advanced books and stuff, but for a lot of them, I just found like I don't know, I personally didn't find them super helpful. For me, it was really like, okay, I've built this foundation for myself, and now I need to build my own, I don't know, my own understanding of tarot. I need to put it together in my head in a way that I can be flexible with the cards and I can apply those meanings in ways that make sense to me. And I suppose that's where it became more personal. So I'm sorry, I don't have a book to recommend. It's nice to catch you, as in the UK, it's nearly midday. Well, it's getting close to midnight for me, but it's lovely to have you here. Do you use any Kim Cran's Wild Unknown deck? I saw she has a new one. Yeah, no. I have had the Wild Unknown. I had like the original edition, and then I also had the second one that had more color. And it's lovely, but it just does nothing for me. I couldn't connect to them. Also, I've spoken before, I just don't really connect with like animal decks, which makes me sound like a monster. I love animals, but for me, it just, a lot of animal decks are really Northern Hemisphere centric in terms of the animals they include. So, you know, when you see a bear, you fucking like, if you're in America or wherever they have bears, I don't know, Canada, like you guys have this just general sense of like what a bear does and how it acts and where it lives and how it behaves and, you know, the stories that people tell about them and just like everything about a bear, like the narrative of what that might mean, you're really familiar with. Same with like deer and shit. Like I don't know, like it doesn't mean anything to me beyond like very, very basic stuff that like I see in like cartoons. I don't know, like it doesn't make sense to me in that way. Maybe a animal deck all based on Australian animals would be different, but even then I still kind of, I don't know. I haven't found like an Australian tarot deck, animal tarot deck that's blown me away or anything. So animal decks I find difficult. And also I just kind of, I don't know, again, kind of how we were talking about earlier, how people put on like these correspondences and associations onto things, like whether it's color or animals, right? And they're like birds, like swans symbolize love. And it's like, okay, like maybe we kind of have put that association on them, but that doesn't mean that they mean that. And so, I don't know, it just seems to be like this, I don't know. I just find animal decks a bit tricky. They don't click for me. And so as lovely as her artwork is, it just doesn't make sense to me. Like I get it, but it doesn't flow for me. I don't know. Not really for me. Looks fairy tale-y. Is that the liminal? I suppose it does. I hadn't really thought of it in that way before. I'm new to tarot and have just recently been enjoying The Wild Unknown and The Wild Unknown Animal Spirit by Kim Krans. Awesome. It's a very, very popular deck. The Wild Unknown was a lot of people's first decks. It's a lot of people's soul decks. Like it's a very, very well-loved deck. Just bought my first tarot deck, which is a Rider-Waite one. Do you have a book you can recommend to go with it? Cheers. Hi from England. Hi. Well, yes, I can tell you what my favorite book is. The book that kind of really was a game changer for me was this one. I have another version because it looked a little different. This is what it looks like now. It's The Tarot Revealed by Paul Fenton Smith. It's just so simple, but the way he talks about tarot just made sense to me. And I think that's a big part of it, is just like some people will approach the cards in a way that just like makes sense to you and other people won't. For example, a lot of people talk about elemental associations and the court cards, and the way that most people talk about them just didn't make sense to me. And so therefore I found those explanations difficult to connect to and to remember. Whereas his, I was like, oh, that makes sense. So I just really liked it. He has kind of like, he talks a little bit about, like he connects the cards together a little bit in the suits. He has kind of like the story of the suit of pentacles. So this page here talks about like the flow between the ace, the 2, the 3, which helps you remember the cards, I think, better. It's not all perfect, but I just found it very helpful. And he has like this little chart that kind of has like the numbers and then the suits, so you can kind of get that really base meaning down quite quickly, which I think is great. I do like too how he'll talk about like the meaning of the card, what's in the card and the image and stuff. But then he breaks it down into a general meaning and what that card would mean if it came up in just a general meaning, what it would mean in a relationship meaning, and then what it means reversed. And he kind of has like examples of when that card has come up in a reading that he's done. I don't know. This was just the book that kind of clicked a lot of things into place for me. So I love it. Yeah. It's my favorite. The other resource that I always recommend is Kellyanne Maddox's Trainee Tarot course. There's a 10-part video series. It's free here on YouTube. It's a few years old now, so she looks quite different. But that that video series is brilliant. So that's always a great place to start. Joan Bunning's Learn Tarot. Yes, I've heard a lot of people like that book. It's hard to let go of fantasies we tell ourselves about ourselves. Yeah, definitely. And I think I definitely told myself a lot of stories about what a successful life was and what I had to do in order to be not only successful but valid and okay. Yeah. And so, yeah, that 10 of Swords moment was huge. And me it was releasing not only like this pressure and stuff, but just like this pressure of what I had to live up to and who I had to be in order to be okay and valid. It's like all of that broke away and I was like, oh, fuck, okay. Now I can just focus on getting better and then seeing what happens. And I don't know, I think I'm really focused these days on just like fun. Like you hear me talk about that a lot. Like if something's not fun or like if it doesn't make me happy or it's not fun, I'm kind of not interested. I mean, obviously there's exceptions to the rule. Like some things are just important, but I'm talking about other things. Like, I don't know. I just want things to feel good and to be fun and to be happy. I don't want to have to worry about being the best in law school because somehow that'll make me okay. So, yeah. Letting go of those fantasies is hard. And that's why the 10 of Swords fucking hurts. But it's a new beginning. It's not a shit response. Videos are cheaper to watch than unhelpful books are to read. Thank you, lovely. Okay, good. I'm glad. I just know a lot of people like really just want, and I get it because I can be the same, where you just want a book to tell you what to do and how to move forward. And it's like, I'm sorry, fam, but you just really got to like practice and you know what I mean? Like it's not really the answer most of us want to hear. We get lost sometimes too in too many tarot resources when at a certain point we should try to develop our own meaning of the cards. Yes, I definitely felt that. And as an overthinking perfectionist, I feel like that was the biggest thing, was for me to just like let go of like the handrails or this, get off the training wheels, which was all the books and everything, and just kind of go out on my own and see what I could do and what would work for me. And that's kind of when you really start to, I think, really learn as a tarot reader and really develop. It's when you strike out on your own. Yes, I also find it hard to connect to animal decks, not because I don't understand the concept why swans represent love, but it just makes less personal for me. Yeah. I get why swans are about love. Although, don't we say that they mate for life, but they also, like, we're finding out that they kind of don't. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think, yeah, like swans don't inherently mean anything. I just don't think they do. Like we can see their behavior and be like, hey, like that represents what our ideal of love might be. Do you know what I mean? Like that's different from swans mean love. And sometimes it doesn't always feel like people who make oracle decks really have that same thought pattern as me. So then I struggle to connect with it in that way too. I like Joan Bunning's book and have a copy. It is also free online. Oh, I didn't know that. That's awesome. Then having a person in the picture, like there's an extra layer in between, and I don't understand why. What does that add to it? I'm not quite sure what you mean by that. I'm sorry. Brilliant. We'll have a look at that. Thank you. Great. Hi, Katie. Just joined late, but I'm here. Hi, Janet. I live in Melbourne too. Hi. Yes, talking about other people's expectations. I got scolded by my grandma through a channeling yesterday for not living up to her standards. Thought spirits were more mellow. Oh, fuck, really? Oh, wow. Wow. Was it in like a helpful way? Like, hey, granddaughter, like you can be better, step up, like, or was it like, oh, you're not living the life that my morals and stuff. Do you know what I mean? Like, was it in a good way or just like a mean way? Thoughts on Israel? I have thoughts and I've shared them before. I don't know who you are, so I don't know whether you're here just to start shit. Because it's a sensitive topic and it's a big topic. And I don't pretend to be an expert. And I'm also here not to start hate. I think important topics I'm happy to discuss. But I'm also dubious considering I've never seen your name here before and that's the first thing you've asked me. Do you know what I mean? I feel the same way about animal decks with animal decks in it. But I love, love, love the way of the panda tarot and the only one has pandas in it. Yeah, because the pandas have almost become characters. They're very, what's the word? Not personified. There's a word for it. Okay. Look, I very much challenge the idea of or the legality and I'm very pro-Palestine. Okay, fam? I'm just concerned. I'm not really sure why you're here. And I have spoken about that before on my channel, that I don't support the occupation of Palestine by Israel. I think it's colonialism. I think it very much mirrors a lot of things as we've seen happening to Aboriginal people in Australia and things like that. Like I don't support Israel in terms of what they're doing to Palestinians. But I'm also not really sure why you're here. But yes, the way of the panda looks lovely. Thank you, tarot student too. Yes, thank you. I know she means well, but she was just like she was in life. Expecting a lot from her family for us. Okay. Please don't use that sort of language here. Like, look, fam, I know that stuff's really important, but I'm also not here to start shit, and I just feel like hanging out, okay? Oh, wow. Okay, we have mean people here now. Can I does anyone want to be a moderator for me, please? Yeah, like you guys know me. Oh, hi. I just know you were kind of off doing stuff, Butterfly. I don't want you to feel like you have to. You guys know I'm happy to talk politics. But I also, that didn't feel genuine to me. Do you know what I mean? Like there's a difference between people being like, hey, let's have a conversation, and people coming here just to like, and also, especially with Israel and Palestine, like anti-Semitism is real, and I'm not here for like that shit. Like we can challenge the state of Israel without being anti-Semitic and shit. Do you know what I mean? And that kind of just didn't feel conducive to a healthy conversation. Anyway, does anyone else want to be a moderator? I need to blow my nose. I do think we're ready for a top coat, though. What do you guys reckon? My nails are looking pretty good, hey? Thank you, Butterfly. I don't know that anyone's keen to be a moderator. Are you still loving the Saki Saki deck? I realized she was about to sell out and I bought a backup. I am really liking it, actually, yeah. I didn't realize that it was going out of print or anything. But I think it's really fun and it just reads really well for me. So, yeah. Oh, fuck off, Terry Davis. Like, can someone delete him, please? Janet, does that mean blocking comments after they're posted? I can moderate if that's all you need. Yeah, basically, like, I'm okay with people questioning me or like not being happy with me. But if people are just calling me fat or stupid or saying racist shit, then yeah, like just delete that shit. Do you know what I mean? Like, and if you're not sure, like, that's okay. I don't just, it's more like just really fucking obvious shit. Just get rid of it. Block them, make them go away. Mostly just because I don't want other people to have to deal with it, like see that shit. I don't want to give them any time of day. Well, I can make you a moderator, Alex. Thank you. And basically, if you see someone saying stupid shit, you can just kind of like hover over and click on then comment and remove it. Time to block people, yeah. I'm just going to make like a bunch of you moderators. Because then maybe at least just having you comment and then seeing that there's moderators here will make them less likely to post shit. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, like I don't need anybody like hardcore defending me or like no, I'm not going to the Melbourne Cup because that is another thing that I don't agree with. No. Wait, what? Oh. Yes, thank you, Janet. Perfect. Oh, wow, this is kind of descending into a bit of a shit show, isn't it? Hopefully they'll leave us alone soon. Anyway. Oh, I have a deck coming in the mail, actually, which is another deck I've already had. Oh, somebody was offering the Mesquite Tarot up for trade. Oh God. And I kind of missed the book. And the Mesquite Tarot I've spoken about before, where it's like I loved it, but I just couldn't read it. Like nothing. It's just big crickets. I just thought it was the most beautiful deck. I adored it. I loved the guidebook. But I pull the cards and just like get nothing from them. So eventually, eventually I traded them. But someone put them up for trade recently on an Australian Facebook group, and they really wanted the Ophidia Rosa, which I've just decided I don't want anymore. So we've traded. So I'm getting the Mesquite Tarot back, which I'm actually quite happy about because I don't know. I'm curious to see if I can get it to work this time. But also, I missed the book. I really liked the book. Thanks. I did what you said and deleted my first comment. I don't know what you deleted. I'm a bit confused, but it sounds like you've sorted something good out, so that's good. Why did trolls have to jump on your channel? I don't know. Just because they're dicky. I don't know. Some people don't have much better to do with their time. And they get a kick out of making people feel uncomfortable, I think. But, I mean, look at these nails. Do you apply a kind of top coat to keep them from chipping? Basically, I just use this as my base coat and my top coat, which is Natio top and base coat. It's just clear. And I do feel like it helps. I don't know. Like I notice when I don't do this, my nails don't last quite as long. And it's like the color almost like kind of comes off a bit. So yes, these nails are both these Natios. I really, really like them. I love Natio because they're just really easy to apply. It doesn't take too long to dry. I mean, it's not instant dry, right? But it doesn't take too long. But when they do, they set quite well. And like, it's just regular nail polish and it will last, like this will last me anywhere from 4 to like 6 days, maybe even 7, depending on what I get up to. But like there's some nail polish I get that I like it's fucked after 2 or 3 days. Whereas Natio tends to be like more 4, 5, sometimes a little longer depending. So I don't know, it just feels like good quality nail polish that lasts long enough but doesn't take too long to set, or I don't know. I really like it. And yes, I wish they had more color options because they don't have a huge, like a massive shade range, but I do love this color. You'll have seen it in videos. Like I don't have a lot of colors. Like if you've seen a hot pink color, this is it. I've been thinking about Mesquite lately too, contemplating selling it, but the guidebook is so good. This deck I found I liked reading it paired with other decks. Adds layers. Oh, nice. I think I'm definitely going to have to play around with it a little bit more in different ways. But yeah, I agree. I loved the guidebook. The guidebook fucking rocks. So we got our first taste of snow for the season on Thursday, the 31st. Halloween was chilly for our kids trick-or-treating again this year. Nice. Snow. I've never seen snow. Like I've been to somewhere where snow has fallen like a week before when I was a kid once. But I've never seen snow fall. I've never seen fresh snow. That'd be so cool. Oh, goodbye. Thank you for hanging out. It was lovely. Lovely to have you. I think this might be a live stream I don't keep up. I don't think this would be very interesting to watch back. But we'll see. I find Mesquite a little hard to read on its own. Feels a little blank. Please post on your progress with it. I'd love to connect with it better. Yeah, I agree. Like it's so lovely, but it's just, I don't know. It just didn't speak to me. It didn't have a voice at all, which was a bit frustrating and sad. It feels blank. Blanks, yeah, I definitely feel that. Just felt kind of flat, or not in terms of what it looked like, but in terms of what it felt. Like I just didn't. Yeah. I do hope it works a little better this time. But even if it doesn't, I kind of wonder if I might keep it just for the book, because I love the book. Because I kind of keep some of my favorite books like on my desk here. Just, you know, so when I'm pulling a daily draw from like the liminal or something, and I kind of just want to think of something in a different way, like these books are all, I just really like them, and they're little and I can like hold them here. So I might just like keep the Mesquite Tarot, the guidebook out here, because I loved it. It was great. The other one I quite like is the Little Monsters, or the Little Monsters guidebook too is quite cute, which is good. I have to let Sammy know that her note got to me too. But yeah, while we're waiting for this to dry, does anyone have anything else? Questions? I do feel like I've calmed down a bit, like painting my nails, having something to focus on, talking to you guys. So thank you. Because this is at the end of the stream, and I feel like only people who actually give a shit are going to be here, I'll just be a little bit more candid. I'm reducing my meds at the moment. And so I'm having a bit of I think I'm doing pretty well considering I'm on a really fucking high dose of a really intense medication and have been for 6 years. But I am getting a little bit like, ooh, not too bad, but a little bit. So yeah, this was good though, like kind of just sitting down and having something to focus on. So thank you for helping me not make my early hypomanic symptoms worse. I really appreciate it. Who knew YouTube could be a mental health self-care tool? But yeah. Does anyone have any questions, or are we all kind of all? everyone kind of off put by all the trolls. Hopefully they're gone now. Leave us alone. We don't want you here. You're just boring. Wasting your time. Does anyone have any YouTube channels that they're really enjoying at the moment? I feel like I could use with some more. Oh, I'm not getting comments on here. I just opened up on my... No, I don't think I can restart that. Sorry, I was wondering why no one was talking to me. You guys are commenting. I just can't see them. I thought I'd check on my... I'm glad I did. Hold on. Sorry, guys. I was really sad. I was like, oh, nobody wants to talk to me. Oh, no, don't do that. How do I turn my sound off? Okay. Oh, look, heaps of comments. I got the Numinous Tarot, gorgeous art, but it gives me vague off readings. It works better when I read for others, but I'm so new to tarot that I don't like doing that. Tarot as art is lovely. Yeah, the Numinous I've had an interesting experience with too, because I loved the Numinous. I followed the creation of it. I was so excited. It was, I think, the first thing I backed on Kickstarter. But I just, I don't know. I don't know if I even tried reading with it, to be honest. It just ended up feeling like there's just a lot going on and a lot of changes, but I kind of want it again. Mostly because Laura from Aquamarine has been posting, or was posting, some readings using that deck and the saltwater reading cards together, and just looked really good. Really good readings. Me too, tarot student. I think that's why I paired it with other decks. Yeah. I'm reporting hate speech comments. Thank you, Butterfly. I really appreciate it. How's that going? What's this? Is this my med change? It's going very slowly, but good so far. Basically, I'd kind of been wanting to at least look at my options for a little while, but then this year I started developing some weird neurological symptoms, which was really scary. And I've been to the neurologist. I've had all these tests and everything, and they don't think I have anything super scary. I've been tested for the super scary things. And so kind of the last thing we could put it down to is the medication I'm on, because it is, like, it can affect that sort of stuff. And so we're thinking that because I've lost quite a bit of weight in the last couple of years, and just, I'm a lot better now. Things have changed. I don't take the pill anymore. You know what I mean? Like, just things have changed, that perhaps my dose is just too high for me now. And so we're trying to reduce it. But obviously that comes with its own challenges. You hop on and chat anytime you need a mental health boost. We got you, fam. Thank you. Oh, you're the best. Take care with reducing meds. That process made me hyperactive. Yeah, I definitely kind of have I'm having little blips here and there. I'm finding myself very sensitive, irritable, and then kind of moments where I'm like, I click my fingers at people when I'm starting to get a bit hyper. Like, literally I'll be like, it's not good. But yeah, feeling quite sensitive. At work, had two different I broke down on 2 different days. Had 2 people come in, and just one guy just started telling me his life story. And normally I'm really good at that. Like, I recognize that people just need to be heard, and I just listen and like validate them. But yesterday, oh my fucking God, he's been through a lot of the things I've been through, and like suicide, all of it. And I just had to run into the back room and cry. So I'm feeling sensitive as well. But I think it'll be good. I hope it'll be good. It's a bit scary, especially like the psychiatrist that I'm seeing to reduce the meds was like, well, clearly when you're unwell, you get very unwell. And given the high dose you're on, it's clearly very difficult to stabilize you. So we need to be careful with this. I'm like, yeah, thanks for reminding me. But yeah, I think it should be okay. YouTube just helped me very much with my mental health too. Yeah. Well, I think that's wonderful, Butterfly. And it's certainly done the same for me. I've spoken about that before, like with just having an outlet and having a way to connect with people, confidence building, all of that fab stuff. But then also just some of the things people share here are just amazing. We love your honesty and it truly helps other people. I hope so. And thank you, Kat. That's very kind of you to say. I love some YouTube therapy as well. Helped me too. I'm glad I'm not the only one. I can't see my comments either. That's so weird. Can you guys all see your comments? Because now I can see them heaps here, but I couldn't see them back over on like the live thingy. Yeah, no, it's still stuck over there. So weird. But I can see your comments when I'm over here. Very weird. I appreciate all your honesty and candidness about mental health and tarot. I recommend your channel in Facebook group and other day in your therapeutic tarot series. Really? Thanks, Pamela. I'm not in any Facebook groups anymore. Are there any good ones that I might want to consider joining? I don't know. That's really nice of you, Pamela, though. Thank you. I know I don't talk about that as much as I used to, but, you know, I'm glad, though. I love daily readings by Gregory Scott. Oh, I've never really watched daily readings and things. Have I been blocked by someone? I don't think so. I can see you. I think that maybe YouTube's just playing up a little because, yeah, I couldn't read any comments. I had to open a new window. And I can see your comments. Well, if I sell it, I'll let you know first. Tarot Map recommended Ouroboros. Yes, I've been watching that channel. I've been subscribed for ages because I knew I wanted to watch their channel, but I'd never watched it. Today I watched their video about deck binging. Tarot, yes, the psychology of tarot binge behavior. And I don't know, I don't love the word binge. I don't think it applies to all the scenarios they were talking about necessarily, but I thought it was a really interesting video, and I liked the way that they characterized like different patterns that they noticed at least. And I commented on that actually, and I was like, I could see myself in like several of those different categories at different points in my tarot journey. I don't know, I really liked it. I thought it was interesting. And I do think that, you know, there's nothing wrong with however we go about tarot, really, as long as we're really aware of what we're doing and why, I think really is the key, isn't it? And as long as we're doing it in a healthy way. I can see your comments, Butterfly. Yeah. So I refreshed the screen, now back on track. Yeah. Weird. Hi, Digital. You will find your equilibrium soon. Also mind what you eat as well. Folks tend to forget that a bit. You'll be right as rain. Yeah, no, my eating's gotten a little bit funny. Yeah. Although I am quite glad that I got through the engagement party. I was a little concerned about that. I thought that that could be quite a bit of a trigger, but I'm doing all right. Thanks, Katie, for your openness. I'm always curious because my grandma struggled with mental illness her whole life, and the approach back in the day was medication. Yeah. Yeah. I think for bipolar, there's some illnesses that are still just like, that's basically standard practice is meds. And bipolar tends to be one of those things. And even when we were talking about reducing this medication that I'm on, my psychiatrist started talking about, well, then we might put you on this other thing. And I was like, oh. I'm not anti-meds. And look, if I need to be on something, I'm going to be on it, right? But it does also feel like I don't want to just be jumping on something like if I don't need it. But also I understand that you need to balance that with preventative or whatever. Yeah, it's weird. It is weird, but the industry definitely still does rely on meds a lot. And I get it. Like meds are very beneficial for a lot of us. And hopefully, I think it's getting better. I'd like to think it's getting better since your grandma. I'm learning to crochet, and it's so helpful with my mental health. It's so relaxing. This isn't the channel benefits from learning to sit down and relax and focus and not overthink the negative. Yeah. I like doing little crafty things. Like I've shown you guys my little needle felting things, haven't I? I was thinking about getting an IG account for tarot, but they want to have access to all my phone numbers, calls, text. Really? Do you have to say yes in order to get access to Instagram? Because I don't feel like weird. That sucks. I enjoy coloring for my mental health. It can be addictive. Yeah, I did a lot of coloring in hospital because we weren't allowed to do much in hospital. Definitely wasn't allowed to do needle felting, but coloring was allowed, and that was fun. Good afternoon. Hello. Yes, I don't think the categories are mutually exclusive. I definitely agree with that. I appreciate the concept of what she discussed. Just wish she touched on that as not a means of deck shaming. Yeah. I think it was a great conversation, and it's something that, doesn't just end with one video. Like, she can't get everything all perfect in one video, but I really liked it. I do also wonder if there's a little bit of a culture of, say, people who watch YouTube, tarot tubers, right? Because she was talking about how, maybe some people who buy a lot of decks do so because they read for other people or because it's part of their whole YouTube thing. But then maybe people who watch them kind of figure, because they're buying all those decks, like, I should be doing the same thing. But their purposes for having the decks are different. And I don't know that necessarily we're aware of that. Like, if I'm watching, I don't know, Kelly from The Truth in Story, buy all these decks or get all these decks gifted or whatever, and doing all these readings for other people. And so she has a lot of decks. And me sitting here just reading for myself, for example, hypothetically, kind of wanting to have all the same decks and maybe not being super aware of the fact that Kelly and I use decks differently, and we have different purposes, and we engage in tarot really differently. And so therefore our approach to deck collecting or deck acquisition might be different too. Does that make sense? I wonder if there's a little bit of that going on for some people too. Of where, like, the people I watch have heaps of decks, so I should too, or I can too. Not that you can't. I don't know what. But, like, that's just what we do. And it's like, well, maybe people that you're watching do it slightly differently because of the fact that they do readings or because they have a YouTube channel. Because I got thinking about where I fit in different parts, and maybe I'll do a video response, because they kind of did suggest that maybe we might want to do video responses. I'm not filming for a little while because I've got a couple of videos up my sleeve. So I don't know if I'll feel like doing it when I do get around to filming again. But I kind of feel like I had about 15 or 20 decks for quite a while, and that included Oracle, and that felt great. Maybe it was even like 12. I had, like, a nice little collection that I really did use everything. And then I can't remember what happened first. There was kind of two big moments that I think exploded things for me. One was I met that old lady in Melbourne who was getting rid of all her decks, and she sold me like 50 decks or something. I don't remember what the number was, but it was a lot of decks. She basically just had boxes of decks and gave them to me for, like, what was it, like $300 or something? Like, I wasn't going to say no to that, right? But all of a sudden I had a massive collection. Do you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't something I organically added to. So that kind of ballooned everything very quickly. And then the other thing, and I don't think I've spoken about this before, but it did. Oh, some people might not like me after saying this, but it's true. It happened at least a little bit. Like, it was a bit of a, I'm just going to say it. Don't hate me, okay? I released a video. I think it was for the Guardian Angel Tarot, actually. I did like an unboxing and a review of it. And that was my first video to actually do quite well. Like, it was significantly better in terms of views and everything than any of the videos I'd done before. And I think before I'd been much more pagan oriented. And that was kind of one of the main, like, when I switched more into tarot. And part of that is because I felt like I had more to talk about tarot, because I was getting more interested in tarot. It's easier to talk about tarot, I think, because you can, like, show cards rather than, like, I did this thing at my altar the other day. Do you know what I mean? Like, it wasn't just because of the views. But I do think that was the first time I realized that, people want to see decks. And so there were a couple of purchases that I made with not the sole intention. I've never bought a deck just to show on my YouTube channel. But there were a couple of decks that I was like, I kind of want that. I should probably get it so I can show it on YouTube, because I knew that that would get views. And so, I don't know, does that sound horrible? It was something that was kind of like a bit of a thought process. It wasn't something that like overtook me, and so I bought a new deck every day to do a new unboxing every day for the views, fam. But I did notice that it affected me a little bit. And that's the other thing, that it's like, some people are really critical of people who do unboxings and show a lot of decks, and it's like, we don't just want to, we want proper content. Like, it's like, actually, no, fucking people watch unboxings and flip throughs. Like, I can sit down and spend an hour and a half doing a really well thought out video that takes me ages to put together, that I've had to take notes on, and it'll get 500 views. I do an unboxing that literally takes me half an hour to film, of a deck that's just come out, and it'll get 2,000 views. Do you know what I mean? Like, people want that shit. So I think I don't know. I think that has to come into it for at least some of us a little bit at some point. That definitely doesn't anymore for me, because like, I just don't care. I got tired of having so many decks, and I don't know. I just realized that that's not what I wanted. And I just didn't feel like I'm very good at unboxings. And a few of the videos that I've not regretted, but just felt like weren't my best moments, have been unboxings. Because like I said, I don't notice a whole lot. I'm not super, super aware of, I suppose there's been some decks where I just didn't know enough about. I hadn't experienced enough, and I've been like, oh, look, it's so pretty. Look at this thing. And I just didn't notice things that I wish I'd spoken more about. Or that I wish I'd been more aware of. And so unboxings, I often tend to, I don't want to say regret, because some of them I think are just really fun. But yeah, there's been some videos that I'm just kind of like, oh, if I'd known more, I wouldn't have said those things. And the reason I didn't know more is because it's the first impressions, but it's still up, it's still out there. Do you know what I mean? So my approach to like my YouTube channel and how I go about showing decks has definitely changed. But I think there was that little bit, that moment where I was like, oh, you know, people will watch me if I show cards. People like that. That's what people want from me. That's how I can have people like my channel and like me, is show them some cards. Because that definitely, that gets people in. So I think that did, I don't know how much it affected me, but I think it did a little bit. A little bit. Anyway, I just feel like I've exposed myself. But like that video, I thought it was great, and it got me thinking about some of that stuff, which is good. It's always good to reflect on stuff like that. There's a coloring book for the Delos Tarot. Oh, that is cute. That is a really cute deck. Yes, it was when I wanted to get the IG app on my phone. It was in the terms and policies. They may have changed those recently. That might have changed since Facebook acquired them. I don't know. Oh, that's a bit gross. Part of why I've not been doing videos on YouTube is because I don't want to be just a ton of walkthroughs, and I haven't figured out what my content wants to reveal. Yeah. I find that difficult too. I did kind of try to swing back the opposite way and make like, and try, I don't know, I tried to be like useful. And I think that was a pressure in a different way. It was like, it just felt, it was a lot of pressure that I put on myself. Now I'm just trying to be a bit more casual and fun with my channel and just talk about stuff that I want to, do a few tags. But I'm trying to balance that with still not, I don't know, with some integrity. Not saying like, not that other people don't have integrity, but I want to make sure that I do. But also asserting boundaries. That's been a big lesson for me in the last year and a half, as we know, year and a half. But yeah, it's a tricky thing to work out, like what you want your content to look like, how you sit with that, what makes you feel good. where your ethics lie, your values, all of that stuff. I love your channel. Just wondering if you follow a Wiccan path or just identify as practicing witchcraft. Honestly, I've never identified as Wiccan, and I don't really identify with the witchcraft label either. For me, just pagan fits much better. I know that a lot of what I do and have done resembles some things that are associated with Wicca and witchcraft, but I just don't feel like I embody, I don't know, I just don't feel like witchcraft really. I don't feel like I'm enough of that to justify that label. Not that anyone has to meet any standards or anything, but just for me, I just don't feel like that really fits me and what I do. I think pagan much more aligns with what I do and also how I view the world, if that makes sense. Yes, I think so. Exactly agree with that. Watching YouTube channels with many boxes of decks can be detrimental to your wallet. We don't need a lot of decks, really. No, we don't. Yeah. I mean, really, if you want to be a tarot reader, you need one deck, really. I think it's fine if you want more decks, and you can have more decks, and having those can be a healthy, fun thing for you to do. But I do think that there are people who probably are have an unhealthy relationship with deck acquisition and their collections. And that's not for me to be judgmental. It's more just for us to be aware that maybe some of those people are people that we're watching and who we're allowing to influence our own decisions as well. I don't know. I think it's helpful for us to have constructive conversation around these things. I definitely feel like I have decks that read for different people. I just need the clients to come and find me. Fair enough. I definitely have always found I have different decks that feel like they suit different readings and different experiences. And I do really love having options, but I also feel like for me, I don't think I've ever at any time had more than 100 decks, because that just feels out of hand to me. For me, I remember just feeling like I didn't know what to do or where to look or where to go. It just felt like so much. And now I have about 40, and that just feels like I have so many options, but also not too many options. I don't know. It just feels, I think everybody just has to be okay with what's right for them. And I think the other thing I've noticed is because I've had such a good relationship with the Guild Tarot, and I had one of those, I feel like maybe I need to stop talking about the Guild Tarot in the way that I have. I've always just tried to be honest, but I did have just a really weird experience with the Guild Tarot that I don't know how to explain, that it just felt, I just connected to that deck in a way that I don't know how to explain other than using words like soul deck, because it was a weird experience that someone like me who's very agnostic was like, that's not real, but also why am I obsessed with this deck and why is this everything? Do you know what I mean? I had a weird, amazing, wonderful moment experience with the Guild Tarot, and it does feel so special to me. But I just know that I've had comments over the years of people being like, oh, I bought another deck because I thought it was going to be my soul deck like the Gill is for you, but it just wasn't. So I'm still looking for that deck. I'm still waiting for that deck. And so they kind of, what that reads like to me with some of these people is that they're just buying decks until they find this deck that they think will just click into place. And I don't know if there's a deck out there like that for everyone. And I don't know what happened with me in the Guild Tarot. I don't necessarily think that, that's not a deck I use very often. And it's only a deck I use for me, and other decks that are now some of my favorites, like the Fantastic Menagerie, that didn't just fall into place. That took work. I don't know. It's weird. I worry that some people have this idea of it's not about developing a relationship with a deck. And yes, we all have our preferences. Yes, some things will work better for us than others. But I think some people might have a view that they just need to find the perfect deck. And once they have, all of a sudden they'll have this perfect understanding of tarot, and they'll become the reader they've always meant to be. And I worry about that sometimes. And I worry that I might have fed into that a little bit with how I talk about the Guild Tarot. So I wonder if that plays a bit of a part for some people, that they do think that maybe only they need one deck, but they think they need the one and they're just not sure what that is. And so they keep looking. And no deck's perfect. I don't know. So I don't know. Does that make any sense? Am I just kind of talking random shit now? I think everyone's so unique, so their outlook on tarot is unique. I have 3 decks, but I enjoy watching everyone's deck collections. Yeah, me too. I love watching like walkthroughs and stuff, even if I don't really want to buy a deck, because I just think it's interesting hearing people talk about their own experiences and what they see. And yeah, I'm happy not to buy more decks, as I want to get to know the decks I have. I love the Wisdom Seekers Tarot. It's my favorite right now. Yeah, and there's something so wonderful about spending time with a deck that you know so well, you know? I don't know. For sure, yes, I've been gifted a lot of decks that I couldn't turn down. I also bought from a tarot store going out of business, so couldn't pass a good deal. I also think decks help you to explore your style. Definitely, I agree. That sounds human. Oh, I'm a bit behind, aren't I? Sorry, I spoke for a while. I love watching unboxings too. It helps me determine if I want a deck or not. Definitely. I like flip throughs more than unboxings. I want to see the cards. If I like the cards, then I enjoy reviews. Yeah. My opinion is that people watch unboxings, flip throughs, because they are shopping for decks. It's like free advertisements. I want those to decide if I want to invest in a deck. Yeah, I agree. That's definitely a big part of it. I do also, for me, I just think unboxings and flip throughs can just be entertaining as a viewer, but I think definitely a big part of them is just straight up it's organic advertisement is what they call it, which is not only the best kind in terms of it being basically free, it's also the most effective. And I suppose that's also something I've had to learn, is that even though I've spoken about this before and I don't want to sound horrible, but I understand that I have a relatively large platform as far as the tarot community goes. And that feels weird and uncomfortable to me in many ways. It's also magical and wonderful. But I can't remember where I first read about it, but basically how people who have kind of this smaller platform, like we do in these communities, like niche communities like TarotTube, we actually have a much bigger like turnover rate in terms of, you know, what we're kind of showcasing and advertising. We have a much bigger like conversion rate, that's the word, of people then going and purchasing whatever we're talking about than like any other kind of advertising, basically. So people are so much more likely to listen to me and see a deck that I'm like, I love this deck. They're so much more likely to go and buy a deck based solely on that than they are from like traditional advertising. And that power is incredible. That's a lot of responsibility. It's funny. I think that people in advertising or deck creators and people trying to sell decks, I think they underestimate the value of content creators. But I also think that content creators perhaps don't take as much responsibility as we should be or could be, in terms of just being really aware of the power that we have in a weird way. And that we need to be ethical, I suppose, in how we use that platform. Does that make sense? I'm sorry. I know I always kind of go on about it. I just find this stuff really interesting about, you know, what is YouTube and what are the places, like what is a content creator and what does that mean? And I have no idea what you are talking about, but it's been a pleasure. Oh, great. Thanks. I like to hear what others like about the cards. Yeah, me too. Hi, John. John Cena. I watch you for you and your content, which gives me great insight, not just for the decks. You're honest and your love for tarot. Oh, thank you. I'm glad. I can see the urge to buy decks for that purpose, but if it makes tarot feel a little less authentic, then that would give me pause, because that's what tarot is all about. I agree, Elizabeth. Hi, Ashley. Have a nice night. Thank you. I'm getting more choosy with my decks. I've collected lots for their artwork, but I want to have ones to use, not to collect. I'm very much the same, Janet. And I always had that intention, And I think part of it was getting excited and getting caught up in the hype, but also part of it was just kind of not really knowing what I wanted. Whereas now I feel like I have a much better sense of what that is. And I don't have that kind of urge to buy or get new decks like I used to. And I really do. I just want decks that I want to use for the most part. I love my collection. I think what is important, if I feel comfortable with its size, what's a comfortable number of decks might not be comfortable for a number for someone else. I definitely agree with that. Yeah, I have 50 something and I totally feel overwhelmed. Yeah. And I was feeling like that. Whereas other people can have like 400 or 500 and that feels great for them because it depends on, a lot of factors. There's no right number of decks. Sorry if you've already answered this, but what was your first memory of learning about pagan path or faith? I know that I vaguely came across the idea of Wicca at some point in my teens, and that interested me. I think it was around when I found the Tarot of the Moon Garden at a shop and picked it up. And I definitely had just like this, I don't know, it definitely appealed to me. But then I started drinking and getting drunk all the time and whatever. My life was about drinking. I don't know. But then it was after I just got really unwell. I stopped drinking. I've been like on this journey. I've told it kind of before. Basically, I was really unwell. And essentially what happened was we went to a music festival out in the bush, a bush doof. And I was about 6 months, so maybe 8 months sober. So this is like maybe 4 or 5 months after my suicide attempt. And it was the first time just kind of sitting, I think we were watching the sunset. We were up on this big hill. We'd walked up the hill and we sat and watched the sunset. And I just remember looking out and crying at how beautiful everything was and realizing for the first time, this is going to sound ridiculous, but for the first time that I could be happy and enjoy a moment without substances running through my veins, whether that's alcohol or something else. It was just this weird moment of like, holy fuck, this is so beautiful and special. And I don't have to be fucked up in order to see something really beautiful and special. And so it was kind of that, like I had that moment of just like connection and awe at nature. And I wanted to like nurture that feeling. And yeah, that kind of popped me along the path of paganism. So that's kind of where I really set foot down that path properly. And no, my family don't have pagan beliefs, although my mum is kind of very much very kind of like pro the sisterhood, pro women, in that kind of feminist way. And so she's read some books and stuff, and she's very like has an like kind of that like idea of like goddess worship, the idea of it more than the practice of it, but just like before the patriarchy, before Christianity, like she kind of has like this sense of I don't know, she's kind of along those sort of lines. But no, Dad, I was raised kind of softcore Catholic, and yeah, I hope that answers your question. I have so many Rider-Waite-Smith clones, which I do enjoy, but not now, really not wanting to buy any more of those. Now I'm looking at Oracle and other styles. Yeah, I definitely felt like I got to a point where I'm like, I have a fuck ton of Rider-Waite-Smith decks and clones. Like, what am I doing with all these? Enjoyed listening. Off to the shops now. Not sure how I ended up here, but glad. Oh, thanks, Adam. Have a good day. Bye, Adam. Enjoyed your shopping. Yes. Off to bed. Have a great night or day, everyone. Best of luck, Katey, on your med adjustments. Thank you. Thanks for coming too. Yes, but you're not responsible for others' decisions to purchase decks. I put decks on my wish list and then leave them there for months until I purchase. I do agree, and I don't buy into that whole idea of like, you know, Katey made me do it. Like, I think that's a bit of a cop-out. I get that it's playful, but I think for some people it's not. I just think I do also think we have to, like, I know some people who show decks on their YouTube page and on their Instagram where they've been given those decks for the purpose of showing them online, and they don't say that. You know, like they'll have a deck from Rockpool or Hay House before it's been released, but they don't say that they've been sent it. It's not a PR sort of a thing. And that bothers me because then it seems more organic than it is, which does make advertisement more convincing. So I do think that there needs to be clear transparency around that sort of stuff. I don't know. I just think we all kind of need to be a bit more self-aware about where we're kind of fitting in the ecosystem. I don't know. Does that make sense? And I do feel like I have a certain level of responsibility because of the fact that people put weight on my words. And I don't think I can take responsibility for the actions of people, but I do think I need to be careful about what I say and how, and I don't know, just be aware of the influence I might have to an extent. I don't know. Hi, everyone. I'm fairly new to tarot. I now have 4 decks, Rider-Waite-Smith, Thoth, Learning Different Systems, and the Crow. And last week I got my hands on the Shadowscapes. Now, no more, I think. I think it's great, especially when you're first beginning. I think it's really easy to go and get a bunch of decks because it's all new and exciting. But I do think it's really good just to kind of get comfy with one deck or one system, because it's almost like it gets a bit messy and muddy in your head if you have too much going on right at the beginning, I think. So I think you got a good little range there. But yeah, I think that's a good idea. I've been on the same journey, would not change my life as this has made me who I am today. I brought all my experience and pain with me. Yeah. Okay, this was nice. See you soon, Katie. Thank you, Butterfly. It's always lovely having you. Hope you have a good day. How long have we been here for? Oh my God, 2.5 hours. Fucking hell. Oh, well, I feel a lot better and a lot more calm. Actually, I'm getting a little tired. So this has been great. Thank you so much. Does my energy seem different from the beginning? I feel quite different now, which is good. Which is good. Yes. Thank you all so much. Skylar! How are you? I was about to wrap up, but I think I can talk to you for a little bit. And everybody, I can't stop thinking about your sunset story. Oh, did you hear that? Yeah. No, it was a pretty important moment. And it was like one of those weird things where it's like, oh, I don't have to be fucked up in order for life not to be shit. What? Like it just, yeah. Because I was fucked up all the time. Yeah. And I think at that point I was still just like mad that I couldn't drink anymore because I knew it was ruining my life. But at the same time, I was like, well, life's shit without it. And that was kind of a really powerful moment of like, oh, actually, it's actually kind of pretty fucking great. Who'd have thought? Life's amazing. It's cathartic to speak blessings and love and light to you. Thank you. I'm fabulous. That's wonderful to hear, Skylar. I'm very happy. Your thoughts are helping me find balance within this new practice. Your energy rocks. And sending my love. Thank you, Matt. That's very kind. I had the same experience. Really? Of like drugs and alcohol and stuff, or the sunset thing, or both? Good night. Catch you all next time. Thank you, Alex, and thanks for being my new mod. Have a good one. Oh, yeah. I have to, it's both. I didn't know that, Skylar. Oh, yeah, it's rough. It's rough. The sunsets are worth it, though. I've not had enough water for how much I've been talking. God. Well, my nails are done. What do you guys think? Much success? Yes? They don't look very good on camera. So pretty though. Aren't they just? How ridiculous is my hair though? I haven't been on camera with no makeup in a while. That's all right. It's like we're having a sleepover. Gorgeous. Yes, I love this color. It's so pretty. Thanks for helping me pick it. I was going to say something, but I've just forgotten. Hi, Heather. How are you? I don't know that I have. Does anyone have any questions or anything you want me to talk about? Otherwise, I can't really justify keeping you here for too much longer, can I? But I do feel a lot better. So thank you all so much for that alone. I've been listening a while. Well. I'm feeling so much more chill. Oh, this is so good. Because as fun as like hypermania is, like, oh my God, like I don't want to stop that when it starts rolling. It also is a bit scary knowing that, like, I don't want to get unwell again. We could pull a card. We could, although I am not going to do any readings, but I can pull a card. What deck do we want to use? I can do the liminal, although like I said earlier, I'm not really doing very well with reading it. I don't know why it's just gone quiet on me now. It makes me sad. Okay, everyone. I'm away out into the very rainy day in Scotland. Aw, love and blessings to all. Thank you. Thank you for popping in. Being high on life is fab. I agree. And I feel like to a large extent that's what paganism or spirituality in general is to me. Is like creating opportunities and I don't know, like fostering a curiosity in me that enables me to get high on life. Does that make any sense? I suppose that, like, if you had to break down my spirituality, it's not that I believe in some magic necessarily, like, that's inherent, like some god, or I don't fucking know what I believe, but like most of it is just me trying to be aware enough in a moment that things feel special, that things feel, I don't know. Yeah. That's basically, what's your spirituality? I don't know. Trying to get high on life. Fostering curiosity is such a good. Yeah, no, that's curiosity, and that's been a big thing. What did we draw? 3 of discs. Yes, 100%. I don't have any questions. Just want to listen in. Nature's beauty is intoxicating. So yes, I understand. I'm glad. Like I said, I'm not doing any readings. I mean, I've got a few thoughts for this, but what do you guys reckon? Does this 3 of coins? It is discs in this deck, isn't it? Mean anything to anyone? I'm not doing a very good job at holding this up, am I? There you go. At the very least, you get to see the lovely liminal in action. And it is beautiful. It just doesn't talk to me anymore. No thoughts. Who needs that? Love that for us. To be fair, it has been like 2.5 hours. Like, everybody's done with thinking. Love that for us. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I'm learning, but I believe it's a positive card. Yeah. First thought, where are the other two? Ah! Yeah. Yeah, we do usually have 3 people in this, but getting right down to ground to do the work. I like that, Laurie. Hi, Laurie. It made me think of what I was just talking about a little bit. I like the trees in the background. I'm right into trees right now. Boab trees are beautiful. Hi from Canada. Yeah, I agree. That's lovely, Janet. And hi, Laurie. It kind of got me thinking a little bit about what I was just talking about, in the sense of, like, for me, getting corny, but just that really focused work, especially like in the ground, your hands in the ground. And building kind of those small, like, it's like, what's he making? Because to me, it doesn't look like he's building anything. Instead, it's like, you know how we create like small little things that we put together? What am I trying to say? Like small little things that we kind of string together that form like little like say how we take little actions that then form into patterns and habits. That's kind of what this reminds me of those little small things that don't seem significant on their own, but when we put them all together and we get dedicated and keep working at it, they create something quite lovely and that can build to be something quite meaningful. That sort of reminds me of what I was talking about with the sunset. It's like the whole point was that I try to do little things that bring me into the moment, but that foster this, I don't know, because I do think for me, spirituality is like a point of view. It's like a decision. Because, like, I don't fucking know what's happening in the universe. Like, there could be, like, this amazing God. There could be lots of them. There could be none of them. It could be something that I don't even understand. But I think most of it is just the choice to see the world in a certain way, to, like, choosing to see things as meaningful. And to do that takes work. And it's like those little things that you have to do and you have to keep doing. I don't think, like, I decided I was spiritual and all of a sudden everything was meaningful. It's like I have to keep planting those little seeds of this right here is important and this right here is meaningful. And when you keep kind of doing that, that builds to be something really special and worthwhile. I don't know. I know that's not really what the Three of Pentacles is about, really, sort of. But that's just what that reminded me of, especially with like that sun setting behind those beautiful trees and this person kind of diligently working at this project that isn't building a structure. It's just beautiful patterns in the sand. I don't know. Does that make any sense? Did I just kind of like make shit up for the sake of feeling? No, that's just kind of what it made me think of. Which is kind of actually nice because this is the first time I feel like I've gotten a voice from this deck in a little while. So that was nice. I see planting seeds rather than making something. It's earthy. Earthy, yes, definitely. I agree. Big mood. What was the big mood? The me making shit up? Choosing to see things as meaningful. Yeah. I feel like that's honestly 90% of very, what is that? I don't know what that word is. I'm sorry. I'm not particularly clever. What is that? John Paul was a French philosopher and playwright. Wait, what? Existentialism and phenomenology. Leading figures in Marxism. Oh, now I'm interested. Wait, what? I'm so confused, tarot student. Make shit up. Making shit up's great. It made sense to me. Oh, thank you, Laurie. I'm glad. That's good. I like your meaning. Oh, I'm good. Hi, girl. I didn't think you'd still be on. What's up? Hi. Yeah, I didn't think I'd still be on either, but, you know, we're having a good time. So what's up? I don't know. Just felt like spending some time with you guys and hanging out, and chilling a little. We painted our nails. We drew a card. Oh, that's not the card. We drew a card. I spoke some bullshit that sounded nice. Things life has only the meaning we assign it. Yeah. I don't know if that's true, but I kind of feel like that's the best we can do, regardless of what actually is true. Do you know what I mean? Like, we can't really know. I don't think I can really know anything anyway. So the best I can do is just decide that shit's meaningful, man. Otherwise it feels awful. And yeah. But yeah, I like the sound of this figure, at least from the first 2 sentences on Wikipedia, so I will do more. I'm excited for your wedding. I hope it's wonderful. Thank you. I hope it is too. The only destiny man knows is the one he creates for himself. Somewhere along those lines. Yeah. Yeah. I feel like I definitely, where I kind of, what makes most sense to me anyway, kind of fits along those lines. Yeah. I like that. Someone new to read about. Thank you. Sometimes I do think I can talk a lot of bullshit though. That's all right. I'm a YouTuber. That's what we do. What are you going to do? I'm feeling pretty good about my YouTube channel these days. I've dropped back to 1 video a week instead of 2. My content's more or less the same, but I definitely have made a bit of a change with how much I share and what I share. I think it's definitely, my channel's a lot more lighthearted now. I don't know. What are you guys vibing with it? I'm feeling a lot better about it these days. Because we all know I had a bit of like a snap last year, didn't I? You're welcome. I learnt about, I don't want to try and say the name, from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Ooh. Well. I need to watch Buffy the Vampire Slayer one day. Everybody loves Buffy the Vampire Slayer. But yeah, I am having a lot more fun on YouTube these days, which is nice. I really enjoy your content. Been watching for a year. Oh, that's good. I'm glad, Laurie. So yes, okay. So you haven't been through the transition with me, but I'm glad you're enjoying it now. I'm very happy. I never watched Buffy. I think I've watched a little bit, but not much, and not anytime recently. Let's hope they don't reboot that one too. Hello, Tara Apple. Well, you have missed 2 hours and 43 minutes and 27 seconds, but I don't think you've missed much in terms of content. Basically, you painted my nails and drew 1 card from the Liminal Tarot, and that's about it. Yes, but don't get discouraged by the first season. Oh, really? So is the first season not very good? I recently found you in the huge world of tarot. Enjoy your channel. Oh, I'm glad, Nancy. How did you find me? I know a lot of people find me through the Spreads for Beginners video, which is great. I'm glad that video did well. Put a lot of work into it. It hit 100,000 views. fucking hell. Like, I know that's nothing in the big scheme of like big YouTube, but like, that's a lot of people watching a video from little old me. I've never had a video that big. So I know a lot of people find me through that video. Yeah. Like, I even got like a little email from YouTube when it hit that. I was like, oh, fuck. That's like legit, man. I'll be getting my diamond plaque next. No, not really. You've been on that long? Yes, I have. I think I've overstayed my welcome, but you know, what are you gonna do? It's been lovely, Tara Apple. Oh, 100,000 celebrity. I know, right? Even though I've been using tarot for over 40 years, I love to see all the new decks and how different people see different things for different cards. Definitely. And I feel like it's kind of, we're in a really incredible place as far as tarot is concerned. Like, just how many decks and creators and options we have now. It's insane. It's a great video. Which one's this? Oh, my spreads video. Thanks. YouTube referred you from other channels I watch. Oh, very cool. Oh, what do you know? Yeah, it's crazy. It's funny because that video didn't do very well at first. I was really kind of like, oh, fuck, I thought this would be a decent, I never thought it'd be crazy. But I thought it would like do well, and it didn't at first. So I was like, oh, fucking flop, whatever. And then out of nowhere, about 3 months after I uploaded it, it was like, I was like, okay. And now like a year later. So, I mean, it took its time, but like still, fucking hell. It's crazy. The artwork on the cards is amazing and so diverse, definitely. And I think it's so great that I think Kickstarter, for all its faults, it's definitely allowed a lot of different creators to produce artwork and images that are a bit different in representing different people and different perspectives and different experiences that some of the bigger publishing houses just weren't interested in. Let's be real. So yeah, Kickstarter, for all its faults, I think has been really important in a lot of ways, which is amazing. Yeah. I'm feeling really relaxed now. I only have one deck that was gifted to me, the Shapeshifter Tarot. Shapeshifter. Ah, yes. That one's pretty. Lisa Hunt did the artwork on that, didn't she? I've been gifted a handful of decks. Not a lot. I've mostly traded or bought my decks, but still have, yeah. I've been sent a few from creators, and then like Mum's bought me a few and Blair's bought me a few. And then a couple of like Tracy sent me a deck, and Veronica Jude's been quite generous too. Had a few, which has been very nice. It was from a friend in Australia. Oh, how lovely. Oh, I'm getting tired now. Stephanie Law is the artist, really? For the Shapeshifter Tarot. Maybe I'm looking at the wrong deck then. Yeah, I think like the Shadowscapes is Stephanie Law, but the Shapeshifter, is there a different Shapeshifter though? Because I know there's definitely a Shapeshifter by Lisa Hunt. Maybe there's another one. I'm going to buy my own, but I'm not rushing for my choice. That's a good idea. Not rushing is always great. I play with my hair when I'm tired. I'm like, Yeah. I don't know. Does anyone, oh, my computer's getting a bit hot. Does anyone have any questions or anything? Do you want to know what videos I have coming up? Oh, actually, I have a video I filmed. I'm not sure if I'm going to put up. Because I mean, I meant it in fun, but I don't know if it'll come across as like weird flex, but okay. Okay, I'm thinking maybe of a similar deck. So I filmed one video, which is my wish list, because people always want to know about my wish list. And then I made another video that has been on my list to do for ages because someone mentioned it like 2 years ago, and I thought it would be cool. But yeah, no, I don't know if it'll be like it's basically I share, I think it's my 5 most valuable decks. And I'm not talking like my mum bought me this deck in Paris, so it's priceless. I'm talking like cash money value. Although I don't like say like this one's worth $300. But just like decks that I know like from what I know are more valuable. And I thought it was fun and interesting, and I would love to see this from other people. But then I'm like kind of sitting here being like, is this going to be like, I think it's fun, but it could come across like a bit dicky. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know. I'll have to rewatch it after I edit it and see. Idiosyncratic for sure. Oh my goodness. Nice to catch you live. Hello. Hi, Amethyst. Well, just to let you know, we're not going to be here for much longer because I'm approaching 3 fucking hours. But it is very lovely to have you. Lilith, oh, Apple, you're going to hate me. I just feel like I haven't worked with Lilith in a, like that was a while ago, and I don't know that I have. I don't know. I wish I'd done a video when I was in that space. I know, I'm sorry. I know you keep asking. I really want to. I just don't know how anymore. Please forgive me. Anything else? Ask me. You can request anything else. Just because I feel like I owe you at this point. Oh. Wow, so 3 hours. That is amazing. Oh, it's not going to be a good one to watch back. I don't think I'll keep it up. I say that every time. And then about 50-50, toss a coin. 3 hours, Samantha Menzo is quaking. Yeah, she thinks Geminis can talk. Bitch, I'm a Libra. I got this. Value is something that we assign to a deck. Like I've seen Fallen Angels Oracle for 1,700 euros. What? Yeah, no, I agree. I think what people ask for is not the same thing as market value. Like I think that's, you know, like it's silly when people say, oh, well, it's selling on Amazon for $1,000. I'm like, fam, it's been listed on Amazon for $1,000. I can put whatever the fuck I want on Amazon for any amount. Nobody's buying it for $1,000. But I'm just in terms of like, so that's why I haven't said like this deck is worth $500 because I don't know how much it's worth. I just know that, you know, like the Liminal Tarot, it's a more valuable deck, yeah, than like a yellow box Rider-Waite Smith that I bought at the shop for $30 yesterday. So yeah, that's the sort of video I did, and I'm like, I think it's really fun, but also, does it come across like I'm being a bit of a cock? I like the idea, but then again, decks will go for insane prices, especially once they are out of print and people might be touchy on the subject. Yeah. Like, I think it's fun to talk about, but I know that, yeah, some people get quite funny about even if I show the Liminal Tarot or something, I get like, some people get really upset with me. Like, why are you talking about that deck? I can't buy it. I'm like, I'm not just an advertisement channel. I'm sharing stuff because I like it and I want to share it, but I get it. Like, anyway. Exactly right, Katie. It's worth what someone is willing to pay for it. Exactly. Yes. I would enjoy that video. Well, maybe I'll just send it to you, Laurie. It would be interesting to have a sort of vague catalogue with stamps or coins. Sort of value catalogue. Sorry, I read vague. What is your favorite deck you own? There's probably a video of that. Hee. That's really hard. I definitely have my favorites. And I have done videos of my favorite decks. Like actually recently I did my 5 top decks I can't live without or whatever. And don't worry, at the end of the year, there's videos that I do at the end of every year. I do my tarot deck collection, and I go through every deck in my tarot deck collection, my oracle deck collection, and I usually do my favorite or most used tarot decks of the year and favorite or most used oracle decks of the year. And then there's a few other videos. December always ends up like I have a lot of videos that I always do. And so then when someone's like, oh, requests or tags, I'm like, fam, I ain't got time for this. I got my like pre-scheduled videos that I do every year. So those videos are coming. But I think Gil Tarot is always up there. Don't worry. But that's like an emotional, just me deck. Other decks would be the Fantastic Menagerie, the Sasarai Beto, just the good old Rider-Waite-Smith. I love the Minute Tarot, the Stella's Tarot, the Little Monsters Tarot, the Mons Tarot, the Next World Tarot. Yeah, those are kind of my big ones. I love the Muha Tarot a lot more than I thought I would. I really like the World Spirit. A lot of great decks. If a deck isn't available, I still love seeing the cards and the artwork. I agree. And plus, I don't know, I always think that, if you do have the opportunity to just buy an out-of-print deck, but wouldn't it suck if there's no images online of the deck, so you have no idea what you're getting? I don't know. I would like to be able to have a good look at something I might be investing quite a bit of money in. Almost think that walkthroughs of valuable decks might be even more important in a way. That's weird. I don't get that. Yeah. Gil Tarot. Yes, up there. If a deck isn't available, I just read that, didn't I? My favorite deck right now is hands down the Lightseers. I am really enjoying the Lightseers, that's for sure. Especially, it arrived on the same day, I think, that I had Sammy's birth chart reading, which I've raved about constantly, haven't I? I spent half an hour in this live chat talking about Sammy, and I've spent 5 minutes in my favorites video talking about Sammy. Hyping her. She deserves it, though. Total queen. We stan. But yeah, that deck arrived on the same day that I did that reading with her, and it's been really, I don't know, kind of, I suppose I'm working with it around the same stuff that I spoke about Sammy with. Does that make sense? It's like Sammy's reading the Lightseers Tarot. Yeah. It's after midnight, guys. My brain has slowed. It's not really working. It's so interesting how we get attached to certain decks. Yes, it is, definitely. Yeah, that would be so difficult. Mine is the Tarot of the She. I'm so surprised by it because I thought it was so ugly and never thought I'd buy it. Yeah, that deck I struggled with. For me, it agitated me. It felt really stressful. But that's a deck, was it a couple of years ago, where everyone was doing the top 5 decks or their favorite decks of the year? Oh, I think it was for one of Ethany's, her 31 Days of Tarot. And it was your favorite decks of the last year or whatever. And it felt like nearly everyone was listing Tarot of the She. I think that was in 2017 or 2018. It's everyone loves the Tarot of the She. Yeah, it seems like a pretty powerful, cool deck for a lot of people, which is awesome. But yeah, the artwork's quite unusual, isn't it? Which is cool. Mine is Shining Woman, and I have no idea why. I look through so many different walkthroughs usually before I buy a deck. Yeah, I think walkthroughs are great. Yes, an association. Secondly, it's the Tarot de Saint Croix. It's so lovely. I'm really liking it too, and I'm so glad I've been able to come back to it. I want a chart when I can afford it. Yeah, I've been wanting one for so long. And some places like, oh my God, chart readings are so expensive. And like Sammy's isn't like, you know, $10. It's still like, especially depending on your own circumstances, yeah, like it's a good chunk of money. But it felt very reasonable for me, personally. I definitely felt like I got more than my money's worth. But I mean, that depends for everyone, doesn't it? But yeah, I totally get what you mean. It was just such a fun experience for me. I'm so glad I did it. I'd like to get the Mons Tarot if it gets reprinted. Is it out of print at the moment? Oh, should have added that to my list then. Well, that's the other thing though about like a deck, talking about decks that are out of print. So often they come back in print, you know. Even I remember one time I made a video, must have been a while ago, like about deck recommendations or decks that something. And like 2 years later, a couple of those decks were out of print, and I had someone email me so angry that I would dare recommend a deck that is out of print and that they can't get. I was like, fam, like I made this video 2 years ago and I bought that deck from Book Depository for $12. Like things go in and out of print all the time. It's so hard to keep up sometimes. And that's also why I would never spend a huge amount on a deck. Because I get that if you really, really want a deck, sometimes, yeah, you'll have to invest, you'll have to save up, you have to spend a bit of money on something. But I also try to think about how I would feel if it was announced tomorrow that that deck was back in print. Like, would I just be like, oh, fuck, I just spent, $150. That's really annoying. Or would I be like, oh my God, what? I've just spent that much. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to have that feeling. Because even though it's unlikely, it could still happen. So if I would just be like annoyed or frustrated or feel a bit shit, fine. But if I would be like proper upset, then I'm spending too much money as far as I'm concerned. Do you know what I mean? That's kind of my gauge. How would I feel if tomorrow this got announced that it was coming back in print? Yeah. Because that's like, I won't spend so much money on a deck that I would just be like, I'd feel sick the next day. That's my gauge. Also, like what I can afford and what's healthy and all of that too. But I just feel like that's a good thing to just be reminded of. Like, yeah, maybe people are selling this deck for $600 right now, but could it come back in print? Maybe. Like, I don't know. And if you don't care, then that's fine. But if you do care, like, that's something to consider. I'd like to see the video on valuable decks simply to talk about how the value is determined, like based on what parameters. I didn't really talk about that. Maybe I should have more. I was more just like, these decks are worth money. I don't know, like for different reasons. Good morning. Good morning to Michigan. It's also morning here now, but it's Monday. Oh. Good morning. Good morning. That's a good point. I spent a couple of coins on Bubba decks, but they are already expensive when they sell them before. Definitely. Yeah. Bubba decks are crazy. Some of them, like, especially people who have like those old box sets with the books, they go for like a good chunk. But you're right. They're expensive straight off the bat, aren't they? But also the thing is, Bubba Studios do tend to reprint old decks. And so, yeah, like, but they are beautiful quality. I only have one Bubba deck, and that's a Fantastic Menagerie. How is the Tower of the Moon Garden? Do you think it might be good to learn with? It was my very first deck when I was 16 or 15 or something, or 14. I don't know. I think I was in year 10 or 11, so probably 15, maybe 16. It was. I picked it up at a shop randomly. Like, I knew nothing about tarot, but my friend had just got this her first job at Stockland, if anyone's in Townsville. It's like one of those weird kind of like, they'd sell bongs but call them water filters. And they did dodgy piercings that, you're not supposed to pierce under 16s, but if, you got your friend to call up and pretend that she was your mum, then they'd do your piercing for you. Do you know what I mean? Like, it was one of those shops, but then they also just had random kind of like hippie stuff for sale, and they had a couple of tarot decks, and I kind of was walking in there to see my friend at her new job, and they had this tarot of a moon garden. I just couldn't stop looking at it. And so after because $30 for a 15-year-old's a lot of money, but I bought it, and I was obsessed with it for so long. But I did find it quite tricky because all I had was a little white book. I didn't know that there was like tarot books or anything like that. And then I don't know what happened to it. I lost it or something. And I've tried to go back to it, but I find it quite fuzzy. Like, the printing is terrible. So I struggle to see it. And I think that it could be a fine deck to learn with, but it's not super scenic. Like, now that I'm thinking about it, though, I really want it again. It definitely has like a mood to it that's just really lovely. We have it at the shop. Maybe I'll buy it. It's definitely based on Rider-Waite-Smith, but it's not super scenic. But if you're drawn to it, then I feel like that's almost a better reason to get one than because it's a good deck to learn with. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you're passionate about a deck and you love a deck, you're going to spend time with it and you're going to read it and you're going to learn it because of that reason. So if that's a good enough reason to get it and to learn with it. I don't think it's like a stereotypical learner deck, but I don't think it would be like so difficult that you couldn't. Do you know what I mean? It's very dreamy. Even the fuzziness makes it dreamy. It is very dreamy. I suppose it hurts my eyes a little bit, but I did love it. Oh, I really want it now. Partly because of the nostalgia, but also just because it's really lovely and it definitely sets a mood. It was a lovely chat. Thank you. Thank you, Lady Knight of Avalon. What a fun name. That's why I've bought a lot of decks, because they may go out of print. That's fair. Good evening, morning, Katie. I forgot the time difference. Haha, but glad I could catch a live chat. Lovely to have you, Marissa. Are we over 3 hours yet? Oh my fucking God, we are. Why are you guys still here? Totally not witchy or tarot topic, but my husband listens to Triple J all the time, and I'm constantly asking him what day it is. Huh? What does Triple J and what day it is have in common? I'm very confused. I'm sorry. I know Triple J is an Australian, like it's like the Australian indie radio station. But I'm a bit confused. I'm sorry. I don't understand. I got it secondhand. Is this Tarot of a Moon Garden? Yeah. I got the Children of Litha by Chia Hunt for my first deck, and picked it up right easy. Right now, though, I'm studying from online resources to get original meanings. Oh, very cool. That's great that you picked it up right away. I found it on Etsy. It's the same price as buying a new deck. What was the same price? Tarot of a Moon Garden. You can still get it new. Wait, what? I must have missed something. The one I'm working with this month is the Green Witch. Really loving it so far. It's a really cool deck. He listens on tune, so we hear your music at the same time it plays for you, but we hear it on our day. So I could hear your Monday morning music on Sunday. Oh, okay. So you kind of like listen to our live radio, but you're not here in Australia. Is that right? Because, yeah, that makes sense. Because we're like 15 hours ahead of some places, aren't we? Do you have an all-time favorite tarot book? Yes, we spoke about that a little earlier. this was just the book that clicked for me. Like, I don't think it's better than any other book. It's just the one that clicked for me. And so therefore it was the most helpful to me. Does that make sense? So this is the book that I love because it was the one I have another copy. This is what it looks like now. I had the old, I still have it. I found it at Savers originally. But yes, Tarot Revealed by Paul Fenton Smith. It's nothing like groundbreaking or particularly special. It's just the way he talks about things, the associations he uses, just worked for me. And I loved it. So, yeah. I think you're 13 or 14 hours ahead of me. Yeah, we're like plus 10 or plus 11 like GMT plus 10 or 11, depending on daylight savings. So I think, yeah, I know for some places we're like 15 hours ahead in like some part of America, I think. I don't know. I think I need to check that out. Yes, not one I'm familiar with. Thanks. Yeah. Good morning from the States. It's 6:40 a.m. here. It is 12:41 a.m. here on Monday morning. Oh, what is wrong with me? 14 hours to here in Tennessee. Oh, here too. Yeah. Sunday. I'm a time traveler. 40 minutes on a Monday. Oh, that's all right. Does anyone have anything? I feel like you guys have hung out for so long. I need to check that. I don't want to just be like, okay, I'm done. Bye. Is there any other questions or anything else that you want me to talk about before we go? Because it is getting quite late. I mean, I know I fell asleep on the couch, but I should be heading to bed soon. Oh, big yawn. I don't know what that was. I recently got a mini deck and it's super cool to use. Mini decks are great, like how you can lay out a whole bunch of cards for like a larger reading, but you don't need to like hop on the floor to do so. I went to bed early last night also. Oh, good. Get some sleep, Katie. Yeah, I need it. Oh, but Blair's not here tonight, so we all know I'm going to go hop in bed and then just like watch YouTube trash again. Like, oh, what is wrong with me? But yes. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me. I have one last question. Do you think I should leave this live stream up, or is it really just the sort of thing that was us hanging out and nobody's going to want to watch this back? Do you know what I mean? Like, you know how some live streams are just a bit shit to watch back? Do you think I should leave it up, or should I just take it down? What do you think? You should get some sleep. It's been nice. Will you be doing a video on your remaining deck collection since purging so many decks? I will in December. I always do like a current deck collection video where I go through all of my decks. So I've done that every year for like the last 4 years. So I'll be doing that in December. Leave it up, darling. Oh, tag yourself. I'm YouTube trash. I actually am YouTube trash. I watch YouTube trash. I am YouTube trash. Just trashy trash, trash, trash. No, people get to know you better with stuff like this. Yeah. Oh, that's kind of true. Yeah. Please leave it up. I will leave. Oh, well, okay. YOLO. Leave it up even for a bit. Okay. I suppose the other thing is I remember, what was it? It was the last time we painted my nails, actually, was I hated that video. I thought it would be awesome. I mean, awful, awesome, awful. And so I took it down. So like it was fun. I had fun talking to everybody, but I took it down afterwards. But then Imogen mentioned like twice that it was her favorite of my videos ever. And I was just like, what? Really? I thought it was just like the worst thing ever. And so after a while I put it back up, but by then, like, it's old news. Nobody's watched it since. But my point is that, I don't know, that was kind of nice of thinking of that I don't have to just have informative content or like whatever. I don't know. So I have a new appreciation for live chats, and that's not like everybody likes different content. So maybe y'all are right. Maybe I should leave it up. I've started saying y'all. Not much, but a little bit. It's very uncomfortable for me. And I feel like I'm a little bit too much into internet culture, which is very much influenced by American culture. And so when I say that in real life, people just look at me like, the fuck. It's really problematic, guys. I need to stop saying y'all. Hello, pagan friends. One quick question just churned in. Yes. What's your question? Do you know any form of healing for sound sensitivity? I don't. No idea. I'm sorry. I don't think it's trash. I love your videos. Thank you, Marissa. You're very kind. We'll tune in for future live streams. Y'all, my homeland. Yo, your mother tongue. It's, I don't know why. It's like, y'all. But I say it like it's, I don't know. Because I would say like everyone, or I would probably just say everyone. That's probably what I would normally say. We'll take video. Well, we all take videos from what we need. Someone may need this video. Oh. I live in the South US and I don't say y'all. Thank you for your answer. I'm going to head out so I don't influence you to stay up later. Thanks, Marissa. Okay, well, thank you all so much. It's been so fun. And I know some of you are here from right at the beginning. Like, you're troopers. You deserve like a little badge or gold star. But yes, I love you all. Thank you so much for hanging out and for helping me tonight. I'm off to bed now. It's 9:45 p.m. in Perth. You should be in bed too, Katie. I know I should. Good night, Janet. Good night, everybody. I hope you have a good rest of the Sunday. I'll let you know how Monday goes. I don't know. I'm trying to be funny, but I'm really not. Yeah. Thank you so much. And thank you for, I know I added a few of you to mods because we had a bit of a problem there midstream, but yeah. Good night and thank you. And I'll talk to you all soon. Bye.